Cleveland. Every Wednesday from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock, James, Josh, Kramer, AJ, Brian, and the one and only Chirk Berserk get together to discuss a wide variety of topics across the sports world. During these discussions, we let our opinions fly with a dash of comedy. And now, here's your show, So What's the Catch?
Welcome to So What's the Catch here on All Sports Cleveland. It's good to be back in our normal studio. We did have some fun a couple days ago at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah, we did.
Yes, we did.
Pretty good time, right?
That was a great time.
Great time?
Yeah.
Taco was the star.
You kept trying to make Taco Fall happen, but let me tell you,
It was not happening.
stop trying to make Taco Fall happen. It's not going to happen.
He's not even on the Cavs anymore.
He's on
He
the
never was on the Cavs.
he's on the Cleveland Charge.
It's because they're developing goatness.
Goodness.
Okay, that's a
All right.
We're going to move right past
We're
that.
just
They're
gonna
developing a guy who could maybe make a couple step back threes here and there.
7'6", he's going to make a couple step back threes.
dude. He can't shoot outside of 2 feet.
Right.
All right,
I think he might be the only 7'6" guy that can't dunk on a regular basis.
I'm pretty sure he can.
We're just gonna move right into our first segment, which is the Denver Broncos at Cleveland Browns. What is your one word to describe that game on Thursday?
Fine.
I would say relieved.
Keenum Magic.
That was 2 words.
Hey, he's hyphenating. That counts.
Yeah, you can hyphenate.
That counts.
And my one word, scary.
Why is it scary for you?
Not even because of the game itself. It's because of the fireworks.
Okay.
I'm so terrified of the fireworks for a primetime game.
So let's focus on the game though. So
Okay.
outside of that, take that out of the equation.
What's
How
your
about
one
the
word other than
actual
that?
game?
Okay, first of all, it's hard for me to take that out of the equation.
Okay, but just what the game on the
Okay,
field.
For the sake of our show, how about we do that?
For the
Okay,
game on the field. What happened?
run.
Run?
That's
Yes.
a good word.
Okay.
Keenum.
You go to Keenum. Keenum did fine. I'm fine with Keenum. I'm happy with what he did. Because you know what he gave you? He gave you an average Baker Mayfield performance over the past 2 seasons.
Which is
No,
better
he's
than most of
stealing
Baker's
Baker's
performances
contract.
this year already.
What'd you say?
He could be stealing Baker's contract.
He's
What?
not going to get Baker's contract, but he's going
Yeah.
to make Baker expendable, which I'm
Yes.
perfectly fine with. But I think one of the bigger takeaways from this game is the man, the myth, the legend, Dearness Johnson. Okay?
Let's talk about him.
3rd highest rushing total ever for a running back making his first career start.
He should get more playing time, even when Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt come back.
Can I tell you a secret? No, who should get less playing time? It's Mr. Kareem Hunt. You know why? Because Kareem Hunt doesn't fit in with what this offense is built to do best. You look at the offense, you look at the scheme, Nick Chubb is best in a zone blocking scheme. So is Dearness Johnson. We saw that on Thursday. Kareem Hunt's better in a gap scheme. Okay, the Browns don't run a lot of gap scheme, and what you see is when a lot of Kareem Hunt, you see a lot of gap scheme, you see a lot of ineffective runs. But when you saw Dearness Johnson doing Nick Chubb does, everything was good.
We here? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Are we still there?
Sorry, we had a little bit of a technical issue there. We are back. But anyway, going off of your point, I agree with what James is saying. It takes a certain type of back to run the Browns offense, and Kareem Hunt is a great back, but he's a great back for a team like Kansas City, where he was a great back.
Yep.
Because he fits that scheme, he fits what that team's trying to do. So I get what you're saying. While Kareem Hunt may be the more talented guy, that doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to be more productive than Dearness Johnson.
I feel going from Chubb to Johnson, it's a less of a shock to the system for the Browns offense, that they're able to continue doing what they need to do to be consistently productive.
Right.
Right, I agree with that. And we've seen that Kareem Hunt has been effective as a pass catcher, so maybe you could use him as like a hybrid running back receiver type of thing.
Honestly, I mean, he's going to be on the team for the rest of the year, but after this year, I would look for the Browns to move on from him in one way or another, whether that's cutting him or trading him. He's going to be paid $6 million, I think, next year, but it's all there's no dead cap on that, so he is expendable.
Running backs don't have a long life in the NFL too.
No, they don't.
Even the best of the best. I mean, some people have freaky longevity, and those guys are all Hall of Famers just because of being able to play for as long as they did. But that's not the reality of the NFL anymore. NFL running backs, they come and they go, and they make a splash, and they have a year or two that are just like all pro years, and then they kind of fizzle out, and they become a third down back, or they become somebody that's a little deeper in the depth chart. And I think that's just the natural progression for a guy like Kareem Hunt. When you're talking about a team and what this team wants to do moving forward, he doesn't fit better than Dearness Johnson does. And you don't have to pay Dearness Johnson as much as you have to pay Kareem Hunt, which is awesome.
It's a very good point. And, looking at what Kareem Hunt does best, he's great if you want a guy to run really fast into a straight line.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's not what this offense does best.
Right. There's teams out there that would love to have him, and because of that reason, I think we'll get really good value. If we do explore.
Probably get a mid-round pick if they trade him.
Right. There's a lot of good.
Rounder probably.
You could do a lot of good for this team with a third or fourth round pick right now. So.
You could. I just think he adds a different dimension though him being that like. I don't want to compare him to Marshawn Lynch, but I feel like he's that style of running back.
Marshawn Lynch actually worked really well in his own blocking scheme.
Right.
Are you comparing Dearness Johnson to Marshawn Lynch?
No.
He's comparing Kareem Hunt and his style to Marshawn Lynch.
Strictly his
doesn't make sense to me.
It doesn't to me either.
He was a power back.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like Kareem Hunt and Marshawn Lynch are both power backs.
There's more to it than that, though. I mean, Nick Chubb's also a power back, but
right.
he's good in the zone blocking scheme.
And
Kareem Hunt is
kind of like a super versatile running back.
Yeah, he's more of a skill player than a guy that's a banger. You know what I mean?
The reason why Kareem Hunt was so effective in Kansas City is because they were scared of the passing game. Okay?
Right.
Which meant that they cleared out the box, which meant someone who runs in a straight line really hard and fast.
Does really well in a system like that.
There we go. Exactly where I was going with that.
And that's why you see guys that could, you see a guy like Edwards-Helaire, and they step in and they do great, you know, and it's because that's all that they're expected to do. So a team like that, we might be able to, do some business with, and I think that opportunity should absolutely be explored after seeing what Dearness Johnson did last week.
I mean, because the running game's just not as effective with Kareem Hunt. I mean, I pointed it out a couple weeks ago, but without Kareem Hunt last year, with Kareem Hunt without Nick Chubb last year, they averaged 70 yards less per game on the ground.
Which, yeah, that's substantial.
Yeah, and that's huge. And Dearness Johnson went and stepped in and did exactly what they have Nick Chubb do, and that's much more valuable than trying to change things up and bring a guy who's not necessarily the best fit for the offense in.
Right. And none of us are arguing that Kareem Hunt's not good.
Correct.
I just don't think he's a good fit.
Right,
Bring
right.
back Run, William, Run?
When's the last time he played? 15 years ago?
Yeah.
Maybe longer.
It feels like it's been longer.
I think
Feels
it has
longer.
been longer than
I think he was one of their first draft picks.
Who are
Willie
we going to
Green?
bring back next?
Yeah, he's one of the first.
Who are we going to bring
Bring back
back
Jamal
next? Willis McGahee?
Oh, jeez.
That was bad. That was a bad year. I remember that.
What?
That was a bad year.
When we had Willis McGahee, that was like 2013, I think.
Yeah.
Most years were bad years for
Yeah,
a majority of the last 20. So.
Outside of like 3 seasons prior to 2020, the majority of the years were bad years.
Right.
Yeah.
Not 07, not 2014.
Which is just what he said.
It's exactly what I said.
Yeah.
Outside of 3 seasons. 2014 was okay. Okay.
I think those 2 seasons were the 2 seasons where Brady Quinn was getting in Derek Anderson's head and Johnny Manziel was getting in Hoyer's head.
You are way off on that timeline.
Yeah, that timeline
Think
doesn't
so?
fit.
Brian Hoyer was the quarterback when Johnny Manziel was here.
Yeah.
Brady Quinn and Derek Anderson was 4 years before that, at least.
Are you trying to draw a parallel between the two? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I was trying to tell
Okay.
a parallel.
All right.
All right, that I can see.
You threw me off there.
Yeah.
But the 3 years prior to 2020, I'd say they were worth anything. Were 07, the year they went 9-7, which was what, 2002,
I believe
and
so.
the year before that where they went 7-9. The 2 Butch Davis years and the 1 year under Crennel where they went 10-6.
We had the 10-6 year we didn't make the playoffs, right? which
Because
stunk.
the only reason we didn't make the playoffs is because the Colts decided they didn't want to.
The Browns had plenty of chances during that season to get themselves in. They failed on their own accord.
It's still rough to win 10 games and not make the postseason. That's
Ask
still rough.
the Miami Dolphins about that one from last year.
It happens.
Yeah.
That's just how it is. And you're going to see more of it moving forward. There could be like an 11-win team that doesn't.
Oh, yeah, now that we've got 17 games.
So it's just going to get worse.
Do you think the 17-game thing is just here to stay now?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. They'll never go back. They might go forward, but they'll never go back.
They're not taking games away. Okay.
Well, they're not taking money out of their own pocket, so they're definitely not taking games away because that's what you're doing here.
While if you include preseason and regular season, the amount of games are played are the same.
Right.
But they just took away one preseason game to make more money and capitalize on a regular season game.
It's the NFL for you.
Yep.
What was that?
No, I was saying that's the NFL for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all about the almighty dollar.
Right.
All right, let's get back to Broncos Browns. So
Keenum did his job, and he was just amazing.
Keenum was fine. He was fine.
He's winning us a
Okay, calm down.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Calm down.
we're not.
Jerk's on one today. He's trolling
You don't
us.
think he's gonna have that type of magic?
No.
Could he? Sure. I'm not going to make that determination after a game where he throws for less than 200 yards.
I mean, 21 for 33, 199, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions. It's
He
an
was
okay
fine.
game. He was fine.
He went in.
That's a Super Bowl winner, he
He
says.
went in and managed the game properly. It's a Super
Right.
Bowl winner in
You
1972.
don't think
It's
it's a
not
Super-
1972 anymore.
Average completion yards, too. Very similar to what we've seen from Baker. A lot of the dink and dunk, a lot of the check downs, a lot of short passes. So we didn't see that element that we hope to see where, he might push it down the field more. Doesn't mean he's not going to show that in the future, but I didn't see it against Denver.
Maybe we see it next week against Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I mean, it's his first game in a long time, so give the
He had
guy
all of half a day to prepare.
right.
There
So
was,
with some time to
wind
prepare,
element.
that's what I want to see from Keenum. Before I'm okay with saying that he's an okay replacement for Baker. I'm not ready to say that yet. If Keenum shows that, then yeah.
I think they got to play Keenum this week. Honestly,
100%.
We can get into that in the next segment, I guess.
Yeah.
But I don't think Baker should be playing at all for the rest of the season. That's a pretty nasty injury he's got, and
Yeah, it's bad. It's
it's a type of injury, in my opinion, that can go from season-ending to career-altering really quick. And for his sake, for the team's sake, it's in everyone's best interest not to risk that. Honestly.
It's just the window is so small in the NFL to win a title, and that's why
It sucks.
It does stink,
It
but
sucks.
he's not healthy enough to play. That's just that.
Yeah, so we'll get a little bit more to that in the next segment, but we got to hit a commercial. We come back. We're going to be talking about the Browns and Steelers and their upcoming matchup on Sunday.
Allison is perfect. I mean, she'd never tell you that. She's perfect. Allison, wait. Are you texting and driving? Texting and driving makes good people look bad. Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
It's 6:42 p.m. Time for Steve Plato and his son Dylan to do the dishes. They talk about everything from the yuckiness of girls to the awesomeness of his soccer team. Sometimes they don't talk at all. Then, hey! The dreaded splash fight. It's Dad o'clock, and it's the best time of the day. Because the smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Creando conexiones durante la recuperación de un trastorno mental y uso de sustancias pone toda la fuerza de la familia y comunidad apoyándole a usted, ofreciendo apoyo y esperanza. Únete a las voces de la recuperación, fortaleciendo familias y comunidades.
Para información confidencial sobre desórdenes mentales y de uso de sustancias para usted o alguien que conoce, llame al 1-800-662-4357. Patrocinado por el Departamento de Salud y Servicios Humanos de los Estados Unidos.
At risk of losing your home in a foreclosure? We can help. We'll deal with your bank, reduce your payments, lower your principal, improve your credit rating. We'll buy you a pony, give you the ability to fly. We'll let you pilot a blimp. We'll bring your childhood cat back from the dead. We'll name a comet after you. We'll let you ride a unicorn. We'll carve your name into the moon with lasers. We'll arrange a meet and greet with Santa Claus. We'll give you a treat.
If you're facing foreclosure, there are a lot of companies promising to help you. All of the information can be really confusing. But who should you trust? The Hope Hotline. The Hope Hotline is a free resource connecting you with HUD-approved housing counseling agencies available 24 hours a day who who understand your situation. Since 2007, they've helped over 5 million people get the clarity and information they need. Call the Hope Hotline at 888-995-HOPE. That's 888-995-4673. Brought to you by NeighborWorks America and the Ad Council.
Hey, it's Chirk the Berserker. You're in the Berserk box being a hard worker. We got James. Guess what? He knows all the names. Just sit back and relax. You got Unger to the max. This show will never get any lamer, because you can't find anybody as entertaining as Kramer. Now, AJ, he is the true fighter. You'll never meet anybody who is a better writer. In this show, you don't have to worry about lying, because we got a champ, and his name is Brian. Join us every Wednesday at 2 for authentic personalities, because you know, all we'll just be dishing out is just the realities.
We are back here on So What's the Catch, All Sports Cleveland.
The vanilla
it was a nice comeback. It was a nice, comeback into the show there, Chirk.
That was very well done. Yep.
Vanilla Chinchilla, Chirk Berserk here in the Berserk box every week.
He's on fire.
Got the beats.
You got 24 more years until you're eligible for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yes.
And maybe you'll get there. But anyways, Browns play the Steelers this week.
Hey.
Big game. It's the first division game of the season for the Browns.
This will really test Keenum magic out.
This really tests the Browns as a whole, because we've played a couple of really good teams and a couple of really bad teams, and they've lost to the good teams, they've beat the bad teams. I feel like the Steelers are kind of in the middle. I feel like they've kind of found their level on the season a little bit. They're not as bad as they looked a couple weeks ago.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I agree.
I also don't think they're necessarily good, but it's still a division game. It's a game that it's going to be tough for both teams. So I think it's going to be. It's hard to tell what's going to happen here. I mean, you look at the Browns quarterback situation. It's Baker or Keenum.
We got Keenum.
Keenum's fine.
He's fine.
Keenum's fine.
Keenum
But
magic.
I'd rather have Keenum, the game manager, go in the game and play the game than see injured Baker Mayfield play and
Also
look like
the game
garbage.
100%. And risk getting hurt worse, and just making the situation even worse than it already is.
I mean, there's no real reason for Baker to play right now.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree with you.
If anything, with the way he was playing, he was just playing to a detriment to his own future contract. I think that there's a little bit of a benefit for Baker being out right now. He wasn't playing great.
He's
for
not.
him to be out with an injury, it gives him some time to recollect.
You think the Browns could sign Taco as quarterback?
Who's?
Who?
Taco? Why you keep bringing up Taco, man?
Oh gosh.
It's Wednesday. It's Tuesday. You're a day off.
It's not even hour 2.
It's not even hour 2.
not
Save
even
Taco
hour
for hour 2,
17
please.
minutes into the show, and you're already derailing us with Taco talk.
Yes.
Okay.
Back to this game.
Back to this Browns game.
Yeah, let's get back on track.
So, with Baker and his injury, this is a rivalry game. You got to know that somebody like T.J. Watt is just itching
goodness.
to drive him into the ground and completely destroy his shoulder.
Yeah, this is one of the
That's why
defenses.
we got Jedrick Willis.
Is that Bruce Willis' brother? When did we sign him? It's Wills.
Wills,
Yeah.
brother.
Yeah, it's Wills, not Willis.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Yeah, Jedrick Wills. Jedrick Wills is good, but you know what? T.J. Watt is one of the best defensive players in all of football.
Yeah, I picked him to be the
line, though.
What did you say?
I
What?
don't think he'll be able to get past this offensive line. Maybe a sack or 2.
He'll be able to do more than that.
Two things. One, turn the mic a little bit around so you can talk into it.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can
Yeah,
hear you
we
now.
got you now.
All right.
Two, if Baker plays, it's not the offensive line that's the issue. He holds the ball because he can't read the defense. He holds the ball and he's trying to figure out where to throw it, and that has led to so many sacks that he's taken on this year. They're not offensive line. It's not the offensive line's fault. They're coverage sacks. It's his inability to make a decision, which is why he's been sacked so much.
If he's
yes.
listening to this podcast, he'll have a good game.
Okay.
That's how
What?
Baker plays.
What, you think that me saying that he holds the ball too long, an actual fact?
When
is
people say that, yes, then he'll play a good game, and then they'll say how good Baker is, and then he'll play another bad game.
Here's the thing, James is not the first person to have said this. This has been an issue for Baker for quite some time now, and it doesn't seem to have been addressed.
He holds the ball too long. He can't read the defense post-snap. He doesn't know where to throw. He's throwing nothing but checkdowns. You're in a very bad situation with this.
Yeah, it's not the best.
And you're playing a team like the Steelers, which kills checkdown throws. You're not going to succeed throwing checkdowns.
No, you're not. And I just got I'm looking at this tweet from Jake Trotter that was posted at 1:03 p.m. today. Kevin Stefanski says quarterback Baker Mayfield will get the starters reps in practice today. Case Keenum, the backup reps.
That's dumb.
That's really dumb.
That's incredibly dumb. I don't know why we're rushing this. I mean, you look at Baker. Here's the thing. He's incredibly desperate right now. That's what this is.
Yep.
Are you familiar with the phrase "can't tell my courage from my desperation"? Because that's what this is right now. Okay. He is putting on this big, courageous, tough guy act. This is the act of a desperate man. Okay?
I agree.
This is someone who is clinging to a career in Cleveland, who realizes that my backup went out and did something that I've been doing all season, but he did it without turning the ball over.
Mm-hmm.
He did it and was able to lead the team to victory.
Yep.
He knows that his career, his future in Cleveland, his possibility of getting that big dollar contract,
it's gone.
It's really on the line.
Yeah, it's really on the line.
Okay, despite the fact of this report from, I think it was Dan Graziano yesterday, saying that the Browns are still looking to offer him something in the high 30s.
Right.
That's nonsense. There's no reason to.
No, and even if like they are thinking about playing Baker on Sunday, like we need Case Keenum to be taking snaps with the first team. Yeah. It would make more sense to, even if they're thinking about playing Baker, it would make more sense to have Case Keenum taking the first team reps.
Yeah.
In my opinion, Baker's done it. Baker knows the first team. Mm-hmm. Case Keenum doesn't. Right now, it's up in the air who's going to play. Like it doesn't make any sense for him to be taking first team reps
right.
today.
You're right, and if anything, Baker should be taking the backup reps, because here's the thing: is that Baker throws to the backup guys all the time anyways.
That's true.
He throws to Higgins, he throws to Njoku, he throws to all the guys who don't belong on the team.
Those are his favorite targets.
Have Case Keenum throw to the guys that are supposed to be here. Have Case Keenum practice and throw to Beckham, throw to Landry, throw to Harrison Bryant, throw to Austin Hooper.
Yes.
Throw to those guys.
Odell?
Even Donovan Peoples-Jones.
Yeah.
Throw to those guys.
Speaking of, what did you think of the Odell performance?
It was
all right. He's banged up, man. He's in rough shape, you know.
I was at that game, that Denver game, and I just saw Odell like drop so many wide open passes.
And so I'm glad you brought that up.
Let's talk a little bit about these injuries and affecting his pass catching.
There's something that was brought up during the game, which I shared with Brian, that I was saving for this moment. Okay, and it was a tweet from Mike Lombardi. Okay, former Browns GM Mike Lombardi. Okay. Former employee of Bill Belichick, Al Davis, Bill Walsh. You know, so he's
blue check mark.
Blue check mark. He's been around the block. He knows what he's talking about.
Yes.
Okay.
The drops aren't a hands issue. His legs are gone.
Yeah.
This is an issue of having nothing left in his legs.
Yeah, and not only that, but he's having these issues with his shoulders too.
That's not helping.
And that's not helping one bit, because the one thing, his hands are. That's the thing that I don't understand, is that people are making this argument now he doesn't have good hands all of a sudden. Like, what makes anyone think that all of a sudden he forgot how to catch a football? Like, this is so obviously because of injury that it just makes me angry that people were even. I don't know. It's just so obvious to me what's going on with him, and it's just that he's not healthy and he can't play to the level that he's capable of playing.
He should not have been playing in that game on Thursday to begin with.
I mean, if it's a legs issue, it's not a shoulder thing, but I think the shoulder did contribute. I found the exact tweet from Lombardi. I'll read that and a follow-up tweet here. When guys with great hands start dropping the ball regularly, like Beckham, it means his legs are gone. Beckham isn't near the same player. Then is then, now is now, and I bet if they could dump his salary, they would. Someone responded to him, I'm not doubting you, but curious why drops mean the legs are gone. I can't really make logical sense of that myself. He responded, Ozzie Newsome taught me that he was done playing and became a scout. His legs had no juice, and it affected his hands.
It makes total sense when I...
Think of all the lower body injuries that Beckham has dealt with. He's had multiple... He's had one ACL
two? Two.
He had the messed up ankle against the Browns in preseason a couple years ago, too. He had the, what was that, a lower back injury?
He's practically the $6 million man now.
In New York?
What was that?
Did he have... Actually, no, wait. Yeah, he did have a lot of injuries in New York.
He had injuries in New York, and he's had injuries here. He played all of 2019 with that messed up back injury that he had.
That's right.
Remember?
He got impressively still got 1,000 yards there.
And that's impressive. But the thing is that it seems like all these injuries are catching up to him. And if we're going off of this, which I am not going to doubt anything that one Mike Lombardi says, two, something that Ozzie Newsome told him. Okay?
Right.
Yeah, I don't doubt that for even a second.
Fantastic tight end, even better front office executive.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not claiming to be an all-world player, but I've played a little bit of wide receiver myself, and there's nothing harder than catching a football when you're dead tired, and it's similar to what he's feeling in his legs. You see this a lot with wide receivers that are bigger and aren't well conditioned. They drop a lot of passes, and it's not because they have bad hands. It's because when you don't have enough energy to execute the route it's just a mechanical thing, man. When you're tired, it's not as easy to get your hands up and get in position as quickly as you usually do. And for some people, it's conditioning, and in this case with OBJ, it's because of the injuries to his legs. He's not healthy. He's just not himself.
And again, the shoulder's not helping at all.
No, not at all.
Right, and now it's both shoulders, so it's just like everything that could go wrong for this guy is right now, and I don't know. I'm not worried. I'm not worried about him. I think if he gets healthy, he's still going to be a great player. He's still the most talented receiver on the roster.
Here's the thing, though. You said if he gets healthy.
Who knows if he does? Who knows if he's going to get healthy again this season? I'm at a point where I am the most pessimistic about Beckham's future in Cleveland that I have been. I've been optimistic about him his entire time here.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not working. He doesn't look like the same player that he was. I would like to see him play with a better quarterback.
Yeah.
For sure, because I think that would help.
I think if the plan is to move on from Baker, you have to keep OBJ. You
do.
You have to. If the plan is to stick with Baker, then sure, okay. I get it. They don't have the chemistry. Those two guys. It's not working out. We'll put it that way.
No.
To put it kindly, it's not working out between those two guys. But if our plan is to move on from Baker, you have to keep your best receiver and give him a chance to play with a guy who can give him the ball and put the ball in his hands in positions to make plays. Flat out. You have to.
100%.
He's the best player that Cleveland has on offense. Flat out.
He's the most talented receiver in the history of the franchise.
Yeah, it's not even close. And the fact that people attack this guy.
Throw him out of town since he got here.
Since the day he got here, and it was never about OBJ the player, and it was always about OBJ the person. And a lot of Cleveland, blue collar, boomer Cleveland guys, that he rubs them the wrong way. They don't like his youth image that he has.
Let's just call it like it is. Let's to borrow a phrase from the only Pat McAfee. It's just old whites.
It's old whites. That's exactly what it is. It's a bunch of stooges, and we shouldn't be listening to these clowns. And I don't know. OBJ is great. He just needs to get healthy. Is it working out between him and Baker? No, I'll give you that. But I think that this has everything to do with his injuries, nothing to do with OBJ declining as a player. I don't think he's on the decline. I think he's just not healthy.
He's probably plateaued, honestly.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I would agree with you on that.
On the downslope of his career.
I think his best season is probably behind him, but he can still do a lot of great things in this league if he gets back on track.
Yeah, I'm with you there. But we got to hit a break. We'll be back in a few minutes. We got some basketball talk coming up, so stick around and come listen.
This is Nnamdi Asamoah. I play football for the Philadelphia Eagles, but what I do off the field with United Way might be more important. I'm a volunteer tutor and mentor. Why? Because over 1 million kids a year drop out of school, and that's not okay. It takes 12 years to create a graduate, but it takes about the same time to create a dropout. And the difference between a child becoming one or the other could be me, or it could be you. Studies show that if we get to these kids earlier, their chances are better. And kids who read well by 3rd grade are more likely to graduate. So join me in United Way. Suit up and take the pledge. Become a volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor. Because when a child succeeds, we all succeed. Give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Take the pledge at unitedway.org. Brought to you by United Way, the Ad Council, and the National Football League.
My dad came to live with us last month, and it's going pretty well. I feel like I never have time for myself. With him being around more, it really lets us catch up on things. His memory isn't what it used to be. We get up and we have coffee. He usually wakes up at 4:30. Then we go for a walk. He needs lots of my attention. I do need to keep an eye on his medications, though. That's important. Sometimes I feel like a pharmacist. I'd say John and the kids are adjusting pretty well. They honestly have no idea what I'm going through. It can be a little challenging, but so far so good. I could really use just a little help.
For those dealing with the daily struggles of caring for a loved one, we hear you. That's why AARP created a community with experts and other caregivers for advice, tips, and support. Together, let's help each other better care for ourselves and the ones we love. Visit aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the studio here in the beautiful Valley View, Ohio. Right down the street from Chipotle and Independence, where I met Rodney Hood today. Follow me on Instagram to see that picture at Jarrett_Andrews.
Great job.
Yeah, just got to plug in whenever you can. All right, so what a game so far. And if you can't tell, sarcasm in my voice.
Well, here's what I'll say, Jared. What I'll say is, first off,
why was the basketball court all wet? Because the players kept dribbling on it.
The dad joke. Corny, groan-worthy, but also one of the simplest ways to share a moment with your kids.
What did the buffalo say when he dropped his son off at school? Bye, son.
So take a moment to make your kid laugh, because dad jokes rule. Make your kid laugh today. Go to fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
We feel a lot like Rodney Dangerfield because Cleveland gets no respect. Oh well, welcome back to So What's the Cat?
Gross. That was just a whole bunch of coffee grounds. Pardon me for a second.
I was going to bring us in, but then I saw you choke on your coffee grounds and I started laughing. So,
anyways, So What's the Catch? All Sports Cleveland, you know the deal. We're back.
We're back.
How come you were ingesting coffee grounds?
I have coffee, and coffee grounds got in there.
Yeah.
It wasn't on purpose. I'm not a psychopath.
Anyway, so we are talking basketball right now, and we will get to the Cavs in a minute, Chirk. We'll let you do whatever Chirk does.
Go berserk.
Right.
But
that's a word for it.
Yes. But first, I want to talk a little college basketball, because the men's 2021-2022 preseason rankings are out. And
preseason rankings?
Yeah.
What are we doing, man? Come on.
Do you know who we are? You know James. You know me. You know we're not going to talk about this.
Okay, you want to just go right to the Cavs?
Let's talk about some other NBA stuff.
Yeah, I just think it's too early. The season's too far away. Preseason rankings don't mean anything.
Preseason, the college football basketball season will start for what, 2 weeks?
Right.
Let's talk about this another week.
How do you feel about
2
the
weeks from
Bulls?
now?
Preseason rankings it never ends the same as the preseason rankings,
preseason
so
rankings
it just doesn't mean much.
Are we talking about basketball?
Talking about basketball. Welcome.
Can we just not talk about basketball?
There's a couple things we need to touch on. Chirk needs to, live his Cavs glory moment.
First off, I want to talk about the Bulls and how surprising they are.
Oh, you want to talk about how the Bulls are one of 3 undefeated teams left? Because it's the Bulls, Warriors, and
the Jazz.
Yep.
Yeah, how are the Bulls on there?
I don't know. One of those teams doesn't surprise me, and that's the Jazz. But the other two, I'm
not surprised by the Warriors.
I'm not surprised by Golden State in the slightest.
I'm not shocked, but I wouldn't have pegged them to be one of the only 3 undefeated teams left 4 games in.
I would have.
I think there's 3 better teams out there than them, is all I'm saying.
I've never made a secret of the fact that I'm not a big basketball fan, so I don't really know. How long has it even been going on?
It's 4-0, 4-0, and 3-0. So
Okay,
it's a very small sample size.
Very small sample size.
Tell me, do you think the Bulls are going to do any?
I think the Bulls make the playoffs. I do.
Yeah.
Will they make the finals?
Not going to make the finals, but I think they'll make the playoffs.
Because the Cavs will.
Okay.
So we're not getting to the Cavs conversation yet. Just put that in the back burner. Then give me 5 minutes. Then we can talk Cavs for another 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I'll give you 5 full minutes of Cavs. So
out of these 3 teams, the most impressive to me has been the Warriors.
You think the most impressive has been the Warriors?
Yeah, I just think that Steph Curry's that 24-point first quarter, that kid is so back right now and so on fire.
Okay.
I just think with them getting closer to having Clay returning to that lineup, they seem like they're clicking again, and it's so reminiscent of what they looked like a couple years ago, and I don't know. I kind of thought that the Warriors' run was over. I'm not going to lie. I wrote them off too soon, and that's my fault.
For me, it's just kind of as expected for the Warriors. Just because, Steph Curry's still a really good player.
Yeah, you're in the majority here.
Yeah.
And they're stocking up on draft picks.
The most surprising team from this is the Bulls.
Right.
I am not the biggest Lonzo Ball fan. I have never made that a secret.
Mm-hmm.
DeRozan.
What was that?
DeRozan.
DeRozan's fine. Like, he's fine.
Yeah, I'd say the Bulls are most surprising, but the Warriors have been most impressive.
Okay.
That's what I was getting.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'm with you there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
What about the GOAT himself, Caruso?
Goodness, can you stop?
Can you just?
Alex Caruso is a complete waste of a roster spot. What do you got?
Man.
Can you just stop? Okay. I think that with the Warriors, once they get Klay Thompson back, and once they get James Wiseman back, they could easily make the NBA Finals. Easily.
It's a possibility. I put it in the realm of possibilities. I'm not going to say it's probable.
I don't think they're going to be able to stop Caruso, though.
Okay.
And we're moving on.
Someone mute his mic.
Anyways.
What do you think about Zach LaVine with the Bulls?
Yeah.
Zach LaVine's fine. Didn't he get hurt?
No,
Or they signed a contract. Something happened with him.
Yeah. He's an impressive dunker, but I think he's an overrated player. I don't think that he's a player you want to build a franchise around, in my opinion.
He's not. You know what he kind of reminds me of? He kind of reminds me of a slightly worse Jason Richardson.
Oh, that's a great comparison.
Whoa.
Oh, we got
why?
Church.
Why? No, this is good. Why, Chirk?
Why?
We can actually get some analysis from you and not just a word.
He already surpasses Jason Richardson in making an All-Star game.
Okay.
Okay, but I'd rather have Jason Richardson than Zach LaVine, though. I'd rather have Jay Rich than Zach LaVine.
100%.
Yeah, 100%.
Jason Richardson is a better all-around player, or was throughout his entire career. Okay, the skill set between the two is very similar. I would still rather have Jason Richardson. And by the way, Zach LaVine has hurt. He has a small ligament tear in his thumb. He's not shooting head, but he is going to play through it apparently. So I was right on that.
Okay.
Yes, you were.
I'd rather have Jason Richardson. Zach LaVine's fine. He's fun.
Yeah.
But neither guy was a franchise guy you built around.
That's my point about Zach LaVine. It's just like he's okay, he's fine, he's a good player, but
got rid of Richardson in 07. I think they could.
Jason Richardson bounced around the entire league for his entire career and did nothing but just do like highlight
Warriors
dunks.
gave up on him.
Because he's not a franchise guy.
He really wasn't.
His skill set didn't match what they were trying to do.
Right.
That's just how it is.
True Warriors fans will remember Jason Richardson.
They love Jason Richardson.
Yeah, we're not arguing that they don't love him.
But he's not a franchise player.
Yeah, the discussion right now is about is Zach LaVine a guy you could build a franchise around?
Which I never.
It's no.
Yeah, no.
I never said Zach LaVine.
What about his points per game?
Who cares? Colin Sexton scores 24, but the Cavs are terrible. Now it's Cavs time. Let's go.
Yeah. He scores 24 a game. Why didn't we? Why hasn't he gotten that big contract yet?
Team that I don't know.
So you think Sexton deserves a big contract?
No.
There's a reason they didn't.
But he scores a lot. To your point, he scores a lot of points.
Yeah.
Stats do lie.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
We're getting somewhere.
Thank you. We have a breakthrough.
To admit that stats lie.
Can we throw a party now?
I'm not kidding you. I am so proud of you right now, Chirk. I can come over there and kiss you on the mouth.
I feel like a proud father.
I do
right
too,
now.
man. I'm so happy to hear that come out of your lips because that's what we've been trying to say to you for so long.
But Taco Falls stats.
I was just thinking about that. Like, we're talking about all these people I don't even know.
Lie. He doesn't get that many points.
I know who Taco Fall is.
Hey, I can tell you a stat line for the season. Are you ready?
Let's hear it.
0 points, 0 rebounds, 0 assists, 0 minutes played.
Yeah. I was gonna ask Chirk, what's your over under on how long it's gonna take old Taco Fall to become a what's the NBA pro?
Hold on, didn't he get in garbage time in the first game? I think he got in because I remember him falling over a lot, and so that was either the last preseason game or
it was preseason.
It might have been preseason, but I remember him being out there in a Cavs uniform.
He was out there for 2 minutes.
There we go.
2 minutes.
He was.
What did he do?
He fell over multiple times in 2 minutes.
He
could not. He could not run up and down the court without falling over his own feet.
This had to have been the opener.
Yeah, I think it was the opener.
I watched that opener against Memphis. I did not see
this makes sense because you probably would have turned it off. It was over.
Oh, yeah, it was over.
For whatever reason, I tuned in late just to kind of peep at it.
I was like, I'm done. I'm going to go to sleep, write the recap.
And Chirk is the reason that I stuck around to watch the end because his guy Taco got out there, and I was like, this is going to be really interesting. And then just immediately he falls down at midcourt, running up the court his first time on. And then he touches the ball ball once, goes to the ground, loses the ball, gets the ball, and I believe they got tied up and called him for like a travel or something for like a jump ball, or I don't know. It's just
that
ugly.
Season opener against Memphis. I don't remember Taco Fall playing.
Yeah, he was in. It might not have been that game. It might have been the second game. It was one of the 2 games we lost because that's the only reason they put him out there. It was garbage time.
Because they were down by like 30.
And it was so bad. It was so bad.
Okay.
That's all I remember.
Say something nice about the Cavs. I'm going to say something nice about the Cavs.
Larry Marketing with the posterizer.
That's not it.
What's the nice thing about the Cavs?
Jared Allen made some NBA history the other night.
Oh.
That's why we should have paid him, right?
No.
Let's get
He's
let's
the
get
first
there.
player in NBA history to average at least 15 points per game on 80% shooting from the field through the first 4 games of the season.
All right.
I know, very small sample size, very much, being this specific criteria, but still kind of impressive.
Yeah.
It is impressive, and
So
for
does
a guy
he
like
deserve the contract that he got.
No, because here's the thing: is that while he's averaging 80% shooting from the field, they're all the shots within like 3 feet of the rim.
Yeah, when you look at his, what do they call that? The shot
shot chart.
The shot chart. Yeah. When you look at the shot chart, it's all right by the basket.
Like,
It's
why
you
do you
can't.
think like Shaq averaged like 80% shooting?
Right,
So
right.
it's just nothing but dunks and layups.
But to his credit, that's what he needs to be.
Exactly.
That's all he's built to be. That's all he's capable of being. So good on him.
Yeah, good for
I'm
him.
with you. He's off to a good start. He made NBA history. I'm not
As far as
crazy
his
excited
contract?
about him in terms of his contract. I think
I'm
he's
not
probably
either.
going to end up being way overpaid. But
All right.
Are the Cavs like in debt?
the Cavs do that though. We gave Tristan Thompson a
They have
max
the salary
contract.
cap?
I personally thought he deserved that
I
contract.
don't know.
But, Chirk, I want to get on you about Lowry Marketing. He should not be in the freaking starting lineup.
What?
Counterpoint, Tower City.
Tower City is a good
No.
counter.
Thank you.
It's a great
Thank
nickname.
you.
No.
This is the team. We
I
got.
don't
This is the
care.
championship
No,
team.
Chirk, no. I don't
This is
care.
Tower City.
Who cares?
Here's what's not sustainable. Let's get back to a real conversation here.
Yes.
3 7-footers in a starting lineup.
That's not
It's not
sustainable.
sustainable. It's not. I mean,
Can't do it.
That's
these are the guys that get hurt the most too. It's like you can't play those guys 40 plus minutes. You just can't.
That's my point. Why are we
Lowry
not?
can shoot threes, can he?
Will you stop?
He has the ability.
Will you stop?
My new favorite thing on this show is just watching how worked up Josh gets because of Chirk.
Here's what I'll tell you. And I sent you this in the group chat yesterday. Okay, Lowry Markkanen, for the majority of his career, has been an average or below average 3-point shooter. Okay,
Correct.
it's not a starting lineup guy. Okay, that's a guy you bring up off the bench.
Here's what I think Chirk is confusing is because he's a big guy and he can make the outside shot. You're just saying that he's gonna make the outside shot every time, but that's not the case. Like,
Okay, he makes the outside shot.
he may shoot a little above average for a guy his size, but that's it.
He's
not.
27% this season, so far.
Right.
So.
He's not going to be a top 10 3-point shooter.
I sent you this yesterday. Did you forget?
I think you did.
Does everybody agree that
He
the
takes a lot of
3-point ball
shots. He's
is?
not afraid. Let's see the end of the season.
Okay.
Can you win a championship without making the three? Just real quick.
No.
Thank you. So with 3 7-footers in your starting lineup, you're not going to win a championship, Chirk. I hate to tell you. I know you said championship.
Here's the other thing. We talked about this on our spin-off show that we're working on.
The Sports Generals.
Yep,
Shout out.
The Sports Generals.
Stay tuned for more on that.
Shout out.
What the?
But anyway, we've seen that the trend in the NBA is to go positionless and small ball. Putting 3 7-footers in your starting lineup is not that.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fair point. But with that, we got to head to a break, and we come back. We're talking about the World Series next, so
stick around for that.
Hey guys, bow season's right around the corner, so get out to PJ's Custom Archery and Lapidary Shop. PJ's make custom bows to fit anyone. They also make takedown survival bows and flint knives as well. Ladies, PJ has custom-made jewelry. You'll find unique, one-of-a-kind bracelets, pendants, earrings, and much more. PJ is a real craftsman with an artistic lair. PJ only uses materials found or made in the USA. So hurry out to PJ's Custom Archery and Lapidary Shop, located at 112 Leonard Street in South Amherst, or call 440-986-0490.
We all want our kids to grow up safe and healthy, so we show them how, and we tell them with honest conversations that let them know what we expect That's especially important when it comes to alcohol and other drugs. Kids need to know the dangers and how to avoid them. And when it comes to pain medications, opioids, they need to know that they should never be taken without a prescription and never shared with friends or family. It's dangerous and illegal. So talk with your kids, because when you talk, they hear you.
Bad theater seats, cheap Halloween masks, my apartment, all things with obstructed views. Add to these large trucks and buses. 18-wheelers and large buses have big blind spots, and like my apartment, they don't always have the best view. Bus and truck drivers deal with blind spots around the entire vehicle. Always take care not to ride alongside or too close behind them. Our roads, our safety. Learn more at sharetheroadsafely.gov. A lot can happen in 6 seconds. A rodeo ride, a dramatic basketball win, and the world record holder can solve a Rubik's Cube. 6 seconds is how long it takes for an 18-wheeler traveling at a safe speed to come to a complete stop. And in those 6 seconds, that truck will travel the length of 2 football fields. So please, give them room. Never cut in front of a large truck for any reason. Our roads, our safety. Learn more at sharetheroadsafely.gov.
Hello, and welcome to today's lottery drawing. Good luck. And here's today's winning numbers. First one up, it's not yours. Second one, not yours. And another number that's not yours. Okay, this is one number that's yours. It's a 5, but you don't get any money for that. And the final number is not yours.
Yep, so chances are you're not going to hit the lottery anytime soon. Don't get us wrong, the lottery can be fun every now and then. Just please don't rely on it for your future savings. How about this? Brew your own coffee at home instead of buying that latte every day. Brown bag it to work instead of ordering in. Ride your bike instead of buying all that gas. These changes alone can save you thousands a year. Thousands. Small changes today, big bucks tomorrow. Feed that piggy bank. Go to feedthepig.org for more free ideas on how to save. Feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
You've never experienced anything like this before. From insight, to comedy, to whatever Chirk Berserk is doing. This is So What's the Catch on All Sports Cleveland.
You know, that becomes less clear each week what Chirk's doing.
Yeah. It does seem like the only thing Chirk seems to do is rile all of us up, especially me.
He's good at that.
Why
He's
do you think I left it so vague? I left it vague, anything is possible.
When I riled you up, was there anything that falled on you? Maybe a taco?
Oh,
goodness.
Okay, we're moving past Taco Fall. Okay, a wonderful baseball game happened last night. The World Series.
Hey,
okay?
we're there. The Fall Classic is here.
Fall Classic is here, and Atlanta Braves. Big game for them. They come away as the victorious in the first game in the World Series. We also had some Major League Baseball history last night as well. So we're talking more history.
I love it.
Jorge Soler hits the first ever leadoff home run at the top of the first in Game 1 of World Series history. He's also the first player ever to home run his first at-bat in the World Series as well.
Very impressive.
So
shout out Jorge Soler.
Yeah, but I think I picked the Braves in this World Series. I just think they've had the tougher road to get there and to get to this point, I should say. And when you go through a meat grinder like the Brewers and the Dodgers, you're more prepared for the World Series.
I mean, they handled those teams pretty easily.
Yeah.
It wasn't like they were struggling at all. I mean, you look at where the Braves have been since the trade deadline. They've been the best team in baseball.
Yeah.
You know,
without their best player.
Without their best players. Ridiculous as it sounds, Ronald Acuna getting hurt was the best thing for this Braves team.
Yeah.
They went out and they acquired 4 outfielders that they could just plug and play.
That is such a good point, James. Yeah, that really was the most fortunate thing that could have happened to this franchise. They want their number 1 guy back, don't get me wrong, but it did. It caused them to get creative, and they put together an outfield now that's just raking.
I mean, Jorge Soler, Adam Duvall, Eddie Rosario, Jock Peterson.
Jocktober.
Those are all just dudes who hit dingers.
So, I just felt like the Braves had the tougher road. I should have extended.
I don't think they did.
You think the Astros had the tougher road?
Absolutely. I do.
Are you talking about because of the whole scandal that is hanging over them? Or?
There's no scandal hanging over them. Let's kill this narrative right now because I hate this narrative. You know how many guys on that roster, position players from the 2017 Astros, are currently on this team?
3?
5.
5. Okay.
5. Jose Altuve, Yuli Gurriel, Alex Bregman, Carlos Correa, Marwin Gonzalez. Because they just added him to the World Series roster.
Oh.
So 5 out of 28.
So 5.
I don't think it's the players that are the problem, though. Like, when you think about an organization cheating, to me, in my opinion, I think about, like, the head offices or the front office or the coaches. It's not necessarily the players that I'm thinking about.
So it's the 5 guys left from position players from that team, you know, because the catcher's gone. All 3 outfielders are different. Michael Brantley wasn't there. They have some rookie, I don't remember his name right now, in center.
Chas McCormick.
Thank you.
That's it.
I knew it was something.
McCormick.
Yep.
All right.
Kenny McCormick.
But it's just, it doesn't carry over. You know what I mean? It's gone now. It's 4 years ago.
Right.
It's 4 years ago.
People are
the
still
manager's gone. The players are gone. It's literally on life support, and we're about to pull the plug in 5 games when the Braves win it all.
I still hope the Braves win. Personally.
Yeah, I want the Braves.
I hope the Braves win, but I like being right more, and I did pick the Astros to win. So I'm still sticking with the Astros for now. The Charlie Morton injury was not very good. That's not the best. And I think that it puts a lot of pressure on Atlanta to win these first couple games, you know, because they don't want to go. I don't think they want to go 7 or 8 or 6 or 7 games. I'm sorry, because you know they don't get to start Morton that second time, and that was what they were counting on. They were counting on starting Charlie Morton twice, and they don't have that now. So the pressure is a little bit on them to maybe win this thing in 5 or 6.
Yeah.
And to speak on the injury for Charlie Morton, he did fracture a fibula in his right leg. He managed to throw 16 pitches on that broken leg and retired all 3 batters along the way
He's a
before
freak.
exiting the game. But he's obviously out for the rest of the World Series. He's a little bit later in his career, so I don't know where it goes from here on.
He's re-signed for another year with the Braves.
Is he?
Yes.
Okay. Best wishes to Ground Chuck. Hopefully he gets better, is able to go next year.
Yeah, 100%.
Ground Chuck.
That's his nickname.
I actually did not know that.
That's a sweet nickname.
Because he induces ground balls, Ground Chuck.
So James, you have Braves in 6. You say?
I have Braves in 6.
I'm gonna say Stros in 6 still. I'm sticking with it.
Braves in 5.
Braves
Not
in
the
7.
Braves, just because they beat the Cleveland.
What?
They did beat the Cleveland.
They beat the Cleveland. Well, if you're going by that logic, though, I feel like Houston's the one that's been more of an issue for us.
They knocked us out. We could have been in that World Series. Yep, that could have been us.
They beat the Cleveland.
They beat the Cleveland.
Yes,
They beat the Cleveland.
They didn't beat the Cleveland Indians. They just beat the Cleveland.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the Indians, or should I say Guardians? I don't know. They're caught up in a bit of a lawsuit.
Because there's such a thing as due diligence, right?
They didn't do it.
They didn't do it. Yep.
They didn't do it. The Guardians, Indians, whatever. The Guardians, they're being sued by the roller derby team, Cleveland Guardians, because they were trying to work something out financial-wise, and the Guardians basically gave them pennies, or were offering them pennies. They said, no, we want more money, and the Guardians didn't get back. So now they're going to go to court. And that's just like the tip of the iceberg in this entire situation, okay?
They said specifically in this lawsuit, I was reading about this earlier, and this is like the point to me. How is it that this, $1 million, whatever it is, organization, can't do a Google search on Cleveland Guardians?
I'm surprised. This already seemed problematic to me because of the Marvel stuff. You know, it was like they were obviously playing off of Marvel, and I don't know how much Marvel would be crazy about that, to be honest. It was already a bad name for multiple reasons, in my opinion, and yeah, to not know that there's a Cleveland roller derby team called the Cleveland Guardians is just embarrassing.
It's like literally Google search. If you typed in Google Cleveland Guardians, it'd be the first thing that came up.
Right. If it was the Ottawa Guardians, or if it was the Vancouver Guardians, then sure. But like, it's in Cleveland. You should know that they share a city with you. You can't copy.
I gotta be honest though, I really like, and this is just like the ironic side of me, I really like that they're like doubling down on it and just acting like, oh, we don't care.
They don't care. And like the thing that they were like really shady about the whole process, about the whole trademark thing, because they were filing trademarks in different countries which had different sets of requirements.
Right.
And it was just very.
Yeah, there's no like backtracking.
For a team,
there's no maybe we should name it something else. They are going with the Guardians.
It's so funny too, because like.
I mean, are they?
I feel like they are. The way
I
they're
think it's
acting.
up in the air now.
It's very much up in the air because they're going to be going to court.
Yeah, they're going to have to go to court.
So
How about they call them the Cleveland?
I guess what I'm saying is, I see where you're going.
Okay.
Is there any way that they stick with the Indians for another year because of this?
No.
No?
I don't think they can. I don't know what they do.
No,
Right.
I feel like no matter what they do, it's a bad situation, honestly.
Yeah.
It's a lose-lose situation.
I've got two other things that I need to bring up. One, we remember when they agreed to the lease extension.
Mm-hmm.
It still has to be approved by city and county council.
Yeah, they're having some
we're
issues
going
there.
back to this.
Because it's a valid point.
Yeah, they're having real issues.
They're having real big issues from a city and countywide perspective to allocating $430 million to improvements of a stadium.
Right.
When a new one can be built for $1 billion, when Cleveland has one of the highest poverty rates in the country.
Right.
Okay, so they're coming from that perspective.
Mhm.
Okay, the reception for this proposal, calling it lukewarm is generous because it's not very much lukewarm.
Right.
So there's that. There's also another bit of information that we need to realize. There is a very likely possibility there's a lockout in baseball next year.
Ooh,
okay.
Juicy.
I agree with you on that one 100%.
Think about this. I have a conspiracy theory.
Oh, let's get there.
Yes.
Get there.
They're being sued by the Guardians roller derby team. There's the possibility their extension does not get approved for the lease at Progressive Field. There's a lockout in 2022.
And they moved the team?
There we
I
go.
don't think they're moving it. I have no. I don't think this is happening.
Did you ever think it would happen with the Browns?
Well, the thing was, like, we were saying the same thing earlier in the year.
But they still have to approve the proposal.
I'm not going to get worried about it and worked up about it again.
I'm not going to get worried about it. I'm just saying.
Because I was worried about it.
I'm like, this exists. This is a possibility.
Yeah,
At least
I'm worried
acknowledge
about
it's
it.
a possibility.
Yeah.
I'm not
really
gonna. I
worried
guess
about it.
it's always a possibility.
Yeah.
Everything's a
That's where
possibility.
I'm coming from.
I wish I could not worry about it because it does really concern me.
I'm just not gonna. I was really worried about it at the start of the year, before they had signed the lease and before they had made the name change. Yeah, I see where you're saying that it's still a possibility, but I don't want to spend any more time worrying about that. Like, but dang, yeah, you make a point.
Yeah.
Because think about this. Even if they are able to go with the name change, okay, if that lease extension doesn't get approved, you're going to have a year possibly with no baseball, where they get no revenue for a team that just rebranded everything.
Yeah,
that is a total
that's a
financial
disaster.
drain on the franchise.
100%. Can't argue.
This couldn't be worse timing
This
for
is the
the
absolute
for the
worst timing
franchise.
for all of this. You're right, and so it exists. That
They should have saw
possibility
this
does
coming.
exist.
They should have saw this coming before going through with this name change too. They should have saw the financial situation in MLB down the pipe. It's not like this just popped up today. Like, we've known for a while there may be a lockout in baseball.
Unless the person who was in charge of making that decision was the same person who was in charge of looking up Cleveland Guardians on Google, then I feel like they do know. You know, they had to have had some kind of idea and some kind of plan, and I just hope that there's people in there that are making rational decisions. I hope.
Yeah, I hope you're right.
Keyword, hope.
I mean, but again, it's all good. From what I've heard, from what I've read, the two sides between Major League Baseball and the Players Association, completely opposite sides of the battleground when it comes to discussing a collective bargaining agreement. They're not even anywhere close.
And
because it comes down to whether or not there's be universal DH. It's going to come down to getting minor league players paid an actual amount, not just giving them housing. That was just like, hey, look what we're doing, but we're still not paying them.
Right.
Service time manipulation deals with how contracts are structured, salary floors possibly, so you don't have teams just shed salary like the Indians, or teams live in perpetual salary basements like the Pirates or the Rays. So there's a lot of things that's going to be on the battleground for this collective bargaining agreement. It's going to get ugly.
I do agree with you there. I wonder, though, why they would have done all this just to, in the end, sell it.
Safe face.
Safe face.
Yeah, safe face. I'll leave you with that. But we gotta head to
that-
commercial. But we come back. It's hour 2. Remember, hour 2 is when things get weird.
Let's get weird.
Even though it was the first 17 minutes.
Things got weird in the first 17 minutes.
This is a guided meditation on parenting. Take this time to breathe deeply and close your eyes. Right now, you're completely in control. Unlike the time you and your son played basketball and you attempted to slam dunk. Or when you tried removing those raccoons from the basement. Concentrate on the soothing sound of my voice.
Release the memory of when you wrestled with that beehive in your son's treehouse. Let go of the time you thought that skunk was a cat, or when you pulled into the garage with your son's bike on top of the car. Deep breaths. Deep breaths.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you. For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Right now, nearly 30% of U.S. students aren't finishing high school. In many places, it's even higher than that. And fixing it is a responsibility that we all share. This is President Obama, and I urge everyone to take responsibility for encouraging the high school students in your communities, to support them, challenge them, and do whatever it takes to help them make it through.
Do your part by going to boostup.org and giving a student the boost that's needed to make it to graduation. A message from the U.S. Army and the Ad Council.
Today in school, I learned a lot. In chemistry, I learned that no one likes me. In English, I learned that I'm disgusting. And in physics, I learned that I'm a loser.
Today in school, I learned that I'm ugly and useless.
Trash.
And in gym,
In biology,
I learned that I'm pathetic
that I'm fat
and a joke.
and stupid.
In history,
Today
I learned that I'm trash.
Today in school, I learned that I have no friends.
In biology,
In English, I learned that I make people sick.
And
at lunch, I learned that I sit on my own because I smell.
And in gym.
In chemistry, I learned that no one likes
In biology, I learned that I'm fat and stupid.
In English,
And in math,
that I make people
I learned that I'm trash.
The only thing I didn't learn in school today.
The only thing I didn't learn today.
The only thing I didn't learn
is why no one ever helps.
Kids witness bullying every day. They want to help, but they don't know how. Teach them how to stop bullying and be more than a bystander at stopbullying.gov. A message from the Ad Council.
Hour 2 on So What's the Catch is when things get weird. Here on All Sports Cleveland.
All right, we're back. It's hour 2. Things get weird. So what's the catch? All Sports Cleveland.
Cavs championship.
All right.
Already, we're getting weird.
Goodness gracious.
10 seconds in.
That didn't even take a minute or 30 seconds.
All right, so we got some more NFL talk, right?
Yeah. So after what we saw in week 2, or wow, it is definitely not week 2.
That's okay.
I meant
we all make mistakes.
Yeah, I wasn't here at the beginning of this show, so just like a quick summary. What did we see? Because obviously we won, but man, that was it was just interesting all the way around.
Yeah, is that your one word? Interesting?
Unexpected.
Unexpected. Okay.
All right.
That's a good one.
I mean, because we said, like, if they win this game, it's going to be because Odell Beckham has the amazing game, right?
And
he didn't, and they
Right.
won. So it was confusing to me how it played out.
Yeah.
All right,
That's
that's fair.
It was fine. De'Aaron Johnson was awesome.
Yeah,
He managed the game fine.
And that was unexpected.
Yeah.
De'Aaron Johnson having the game he did, too. But I guess what I'm asking is, do you see this being, like, something that is sustainable?
No.
That type of performance, no, because that's mostly what we've seen out of Baker for this season and a large portion of last season. But
I will say this, though, a performance like that travels well. Because if there's a bad weather, that air attack doesn't travel as well when there's, outside circumstances. Like a running back getting the ball 25 times and running for 140 yards like he did, that's a plan that's sustainable in my opinion.
It is. For the most part.
Yeah. Never mind. I forgot where I was going.
Okay. Josh, what do you got? You have some crazy take that I don't agree with.
What? Oh, the one about the Arizona Cardinals?
Yeah.
All right.
Come on.
So Devontae Adams tested positive for COVID.
Yeah.
So he's not going to play in the game on Thursday.
Sounds like bad news for the Packers.
Terrible news for the Packers.
You would think so, right?
That's not what Josh is saying.
Mm-mm.
So the Cardinals are trying to prove that they're a legit 7-0 because I think there's some naysayers around the league that say no, I don't think they're a legit 7-0. So they're trying to. I think that if they were playing a full strength Packers squad with Devontae, with Aaron Rodgers, that they would prove that they are legit.
The problem with this is that you're making the assumption that players are like really keyed in on stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure that they are.
They don't.
Because if they were, like, it'd be 24/7 misery. Like, because no matter what you do, there's going to be people unhappy.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm pulling up the Cardinals' schedule so far. Okay, they clowned Tennessee in Week 1, 38-13.
Yeah, but
okay.
What more do they have to prove?
They
7 games into the year is almost halfway through the year. They've proved it already.
They beat them in Tennessee, by the way.
The
by
Titans
25 points.
The Titans weren't what they are now, though.
Are they? I think they were the same team then than they are now. If they get behind, they're screwed. That's what the Titans are.
Yeah.
So, and you look, they beat Los Angeles 37-23 in Los Angeles.
What was that?
They beat the Browns very, very handily, 37-14, and they destroyed the Texans, which is something they're supposed to do if you're a good team, 31-5.
Right, exactly like they should have.
They have nothing to prove. They're doing what they need to do. They're a good team.
If I'm being honest, I'm just trying to play devil's advocate right now.
And it's not like that's the only good player on the Packers either.
Right.
I mean, it's obviously not going to help the Packers.
No, it's not helping.
Alan Lazard's also not going to play, so that's going to be an issue too.
Yeah.
I'm interested in that game. I'm going to watch that game.
Aaron Rodgers still Aaron Rodgers, so he's going to be able to do things, but when you're without Devontae Adams, it's going to hurt.
I love me some Aaron Rodgers. Packers are my second team, and I'm just not sure on it either way. I feel like the Cardinals have a good chance of winning.
Yeah.
Okay, so there was some history made over the weekend. More history, by the way. History.
Shout out.
Tom Brady threw his 600th career touchdown pass.
The GOAT.
The first ever to do it. Okay.
First and last.
Avocado ice cream, right?
What?
Hey, maybe it's the avocado ice cream.
I'll say that first and last. Nobody ever gets 600 again.
I agree. I don't see anyone coming anywhere close.
This might be the new record in sports that's untouchable. Like, you know how we've had those untouchable records in baseball?
So like Cal Ripken. And,
Yeah.
Hit streak for.
Wait. I'm sorry. Let me put this in perspective. It's 600 touchdown. You said, right?
600 touchdown pass. Yeah.
What's the next closest? Do we know?
I'll pull it up in 2 seconds.
Because that's I can't really figure out.
598.
Because if that's the case, then
he just took over first place with 600. He has 598.
No. Okay, I'm asking the wrong question. What I'm trying to ask is what current player is closest?
Oh, okay.
Aaron Rodgers with 427.
Yeah, that's what I was getting.
Yep.
Okay, the second place is 571, by the way.
All right.
Yeah.
So, because I'm trying to figure out, so Aaron Rodgers, he's obviously not going to make up that. That's a gap he's not going to make up in the rest of his career.
No way.
So I'd have to look like, okay, Patrick Mahomes, where's he at? And so on and so forth. But just from that, that sounds like an unbreakable record.
Yeah.
Everyone that's not even anyone close, really.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, Stafford, 12 years in, he's 300 behind.
Here's the thing. Tom Brady's an alien. He's going to make plenty more before he retires, too.
Keenum could make it?
No.
Not even close.
If he never played another down, I think this record would stand the test of time.
Yeah. Mahomes has 132, by the way, so he's got about 470 to go, just the tie where Tom Brady is currently.
Right, and he's having some struggles down there in Kansas City right now. So
let's talk about that. Is it time to panic for the Chiefs?
Yep.
Yeah, it might be.
Do you think so?
100%.
I would say 100%. I'm more with you, Josh, than I am with James here, though. I think it's getting deep enough into the season where it's time to start worrying about these performances. Do I think that they're that far removed from the team that made the Super Bowl last year? No. So that's the good news. So, but when do you start worrying if not now? I mean, like, it's getting into the meat of the season. We're almost halfway through the year. Like, it's time to start worrying about getting things back on track.
Can I throw some stuff at you?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Do you know who they've lost to?
The Titans.
They've lost to the Ravens. They've lost to the Chargers. They've lost to the Bills. They've lost to the Titans. Those are all playoff teams. It's not like they're dropping games to us or the Washington football team or the Eagles. Okay, they're losing to legitimate playoff teams.
Right, but they're also looking really
they're looking bad along the way.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. This is true. So they played the Giants this week. Packers is going to be tough. Vegas is going to be tough. So is Dallas. But Broncos, Raiders, Chargers again, Steelers, Bengals, Broncos. It's not impossible, but there's some possible winnable games on the schedule for them to right the ship.
Yeah, they definitely have plenty of time to right the ship.
They'll make the playoffs. They're not going to make it to the Super Bowl.
I think
that would be my prediction.
I don't even know if they're going to make it to the playoffs.
I think they'll get in there.
I don't know. With how good the Chargers and Raiders are, and then you've got all 4 teams in the AFC North, at least somewhat looking legit. We'll see.
Two of them are.
I'm iffy about the other 2, but to a certain extent, they all look legit. To a certain extent.
Sure.
And then in the AFC East, you have the Bills.
And nobody else.
And, the Patriots.
7 teams get in. So let's say Bengals, Ravens, Chargers, Raiders, Bills. I got 2 more spots left.
Yeah, they're going to get into the board. They're going to get in.
I'm not sure.
But I'm just not sure they're the same team that wins it this year.
They're not the same team. They're not a team that probably gets the Super Bowl. They'll probably get in.
This is just further proof, though, why the NFL is the hardest league in the world to play in, and quarterback is the hardest position in the world to play. Because the longer you're in the NFL, the more tape that people have on you, and the more that they start to figure you out. And I'm not saying that they've figured out Pat Mahomes necessarily.
I think they
but
have.
They've definitely adjusted.
Okay,
they've definitely.
Well, this isn't this isn't his sophomore season, is it?
No,
he's been in the league. This is what, year 4 or 5.
Yeah, so I mean,
they haven't figured him out. But here's what I'll tell you: that they have a 3-year stretch of bad drafts. Okay, and when you have a 3-year stretch of drafts that you don't get anyone like worth a crap from, it's gonna hurt. Especially when you're paying out big contracts to guys like Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. Okay, that's gonna hurt. And then you look at their offensive line. We thought that they fixed it this past year. It's worse than it was last year, and they were playing with guys like Cam Irving. Okay,
I mean, he's leading the league in interceptions. He's played pretty poorly.
He's playing reckless, though.
Yeah, he's making bad decisions.
I'm just saying it's not as simple as they figured him out. It's like
I didn't say it's that simple, but I'm saying like when you see things like this happen, it's just this happens all the time in the NFL. You get guys that come in and they're hot. Look at Kaepernick, man. Like Kaepernick had a couple really good years. He won, made that NFC Championship game, made it to the Super Bowl, and he looked really, really, really good. I'll say that. And,
he did. Yeah.
He did. You're right.
They started to figure him out. I mean, that's what happened.
Different type of circumstance, different type of offense. It was a Greg Roman offense, which is what they run in Baltimore with Lamar Jackson. So,
I think there's something there. I'm not saying that's all that it is. I'm saying that there's something there.
If you're going to beat the Chiefs, it's holding Tyreek Hill like under 15 yards per catch.
That's what teams
That's how you have to beat them, and that's what teams have done.
I think the Buccaneers exposed the Chiefs, and teams are starting to play that same style of defense. Obviously, other teams can't copy what the Buccaneers have with Levante David, Shaq Barrett, JPP. I get that. But the defensive scheme that the Buccaneers played, other teams are starting to copy, and it's forcing the Chiefs to be what they don't want to be, which is be patient, take the short play. They want to just go bang, 90-yard touchdown pass. Okay, maybe that's a little extreme, but you know what I'm trying to say.
I'm not writing them off because they still got Patrick Mahomes. He's a top 3 quarterback in the league, okay? And they still got Andy Reid, who's one of the best coaches ever to do it and one of the best in the league currently.
How's Mahomes been playing over the past couple games? Has he still been well? Or
He leads the league in interceptions right now. The entire NFL.
I just think he's doing... Patrick Mahomes is trying too much to be Superman right now.
Yep, that's exactly what I see.
Kind of sounds like Baker syndrome.
I see that too.
Where he thinks he has to win the game.
I'm with you on this segment, Josh.
That's why.
There's something there. There's something to be worried about. I still think he's going to be a Hall of Fame quarterback. I still think he's going to be great, but there's something there.
That's why for this season, I am writing the Chiefs off. I just think their defense is putrid right now.
Well, the defense is terrible, which is why this is all existing in the first place. They're having to consistently attack before they are able to protect. Okay?
Right.
And so attack versus protect is an entirely different type of offensive scheme, offensive game plan, which is why we're here now. I'm looking at Mahomes' numbers right now. He has a career high in completion percentage. Did you know that? Right now, this season, 67.5 is the best he's ever had.
It's because he has to.
I mean, I think we always have to.
He's completing more passes now.
But that's a stat that also lies.
It also is a stat that lies, okay? But I'm just saying it's not like he's out there throwing 58% and has, a 2-to-1 interception to touchdown ratio. It's the opposite. It's 2-to-1. Yeah, the interceptions suck, but sometimes it's going to happen when you have to be aggressive on offense, and that's what they have to do right now.
What's Baker's completion percentage right now? Just interested.
Oh, it's probably about the same.
Yep.
So that number lies, but it's a different style of quarterback with that number.
We got to get going to a commercial break, but when we come back, we are talking Penn State, Ohio State, and Michigan, Michigan State.
Oh.
Welcome, everybody, and thanks for tuning in. I'm your host, Smokey Cole Bear, filling in for Smokey on his birthday. Because after 75 years of...
Only you.
you can prevent wildfires.
Turns out there's much more to say. Just look at the news. Nearly 90% of wildfires are caused by us humans being careless. And I'm not just talking about obvious things like campfires or letting your totally sweet nephew, Francis, play with matches. I'm talking about dumping your used barbecue coals willy-nilly or parking your car on tall, dry grass. That can lead to poof. Guess the song was wrong. We did start the fire. But listen, being a South Carolinian, I respect Mother Nature and her trees, whether coniferous, deciduous, or new car scented. So if you love the outdoors like me, go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention, because fire safety is always in season. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Question: what will you find on all over-the-counter or OTC medicine packages to help you choose the right drug and use it safely? The answer: the Drug Facts label. This label lists the medicine's active ingredients and purpose, how much to take, and warnings you should know before using it. Remember, even OTC medicines you buy without a prescription can cause side effects you don't want. So follow the information listed on the Drug Facts label. For more information, visit fda.gov/Drug Facts label. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
With dating sites selling you dreams of meeting your soulmate and charging you monthly.
As an 18-year-old, I let my mistakes kind of take over my life. I was 0.5 credits away from completing high school, and I didn't do it.
10 years later, at age 28, Jackie finished her high school diploma.
When I found out that I was pregnant, I know that I had to do something for myself if I wanted to make her a better person and provide a better life for her. My family never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew what I could become and who I could become as a person. My support team is amazing. The educational director, my sister, and even my 7-year-old daughter has just been more than the support that I could ask for. I've been given an opportunity, and I'm just thankful for it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Hey yo, this is Kramer, the big man with the big mind, the big opinions, and the even bigger mouth. And you're tuning back in with So What's the Catch on All Sports Cleveland.
Oh,
It's a really good one.
All right, now we're back.
Okay, now we're back.
Yeah, now our mics are
That's
on.
one hell of a bumper.
It is one. It's a good one.
It is a very strong bumper. I like it.
Yeah, she did a good job with that chirp.
What's up?
I like
Nothing.
it. Good job, Chuck.
Anyways, college football time, game of the week, obvious. It's in East Lansing, or should I call it Beast Lansing?
Come on.
East Lansing, baby. Michigan
That's
State.
least Lansing.
Ooh.
I like the meme I saw Brian post up the other day, maybe today, but it said, what's the similarity between Michigan and Michigan State? They all applied to Michigan.
It's a very, very common joke up there in the stands.
It's good stuff.
And it really gets under their skin. They don't like to be perceived
The
as
funny thing is, you could say that to Ohio University people down there, and they'd be like, yeah.
Yeah, right.
And?
Yeah, and?
It's obviously a different scene up there.
But
oh, yeah.
Obviously, game of the week, top 10 matchup between the two teams.
Yeah, I mean, it's the first time since the 1960s that these two teams have been in the top 10. Facing off against each other, which is kind of incredible to think about.
And what are the actual rankings?
Michigan is
6 and 8. Yeah, 6 and 8. So yeah, I mean, this is just it's an incredible matchup. This rivalry is always important to both schools, but it's extra special this year because both teams are undefeated, and neither team was expected to be anywhere close to as good as they are now.
You're right.
But yeah, this is as good of a Michigan State matchup as you're ever going to get.
How are you feeling about Michigan, Brian? Aren't you? I feel like if I was a Michigan fan, which I'm definitely not.
Yeah.
You have made
if I put myself into that role, I would be pumped this year. Really, no matter how the rest of the year goes, I would still be feeling like, man, we have taken a step up.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a step in the right direction. I mean, last season was such an aberration. It's just such a weird year for everybody.
Yeah.
So I didn't take as much away from that 2-4 season as a lot of people did. But I definitely didn't expect this team to be 7-0.
So say at the end of the year they lose some, they lose to Ohio State, they don't make the playoffs, but they do get a good bowl game. Are you still pretty happy?
With this season I'd be happy with it. Yeah. I
but
mean,
expecting more next year.
Yeah. Next year is the year. They're not ready yet. So yeah, I would be happy with that.
Right.
I mean, I honestly would be. I'd rather lose a couple games before Ohio State if we're going to lose to Ohio State.
Makes
the last thing that I want to do is go into Ohio State 11-0 and just have them just destroy our
that would be
dreams.
rough.
Yeah.
Unless we're in position to make it to the Big Ten game, but I don't think that that's going to happen. Ohio State's not going to lose another game.
No,
I don't think so.
If Ohio State loses another game, then sure, like that game will still be, I'd be thrilled with being 11-0, but like Ohio State's not going to lose another game before then. So yeah, like I don't want to go into that game undefeated because they're not ready to play.
You're
that
talking about like what?
We're not talking about them.
We're not talking about Cincinnati. Sorry.
Ever. Don't talk about Cincinnati.
I tried, but they're not on the bandwagon, so I'm just dropping it.
At the end of this week, once we get through this and the Ohio State-Penn State game, we can talk about Cincinnati for a minute, just so I can shatter your dreams.
Right.
Anyway.
And they didn't exactly have a good showing, but we'll get to that.
No, they didn't.
no.
But, so, it is.
Where were you going then?
But yeah, anyway, game of the week, definitely.
College game day is going to be there. Big noon kickoff is going to be there.
Barstool's going to be there.
Yep. So,
I mean,
one show that I might watch will be there.
I'm definitely going to be watching that. I hope for a Michigan State win. That would make me happy. But it's not the game I'm most excited for at all.
What's the game?
Excited for is?
Of course, Ohio State versus Penn.
Yes.
I know why.
Yeah, because this whole season, like, ever since you came out as this, like, hidden Penn State fan, I guess it's not hidden, but a Penn State fan, I have been very much rooting against Penn State. I was so happy to see that they lost. The one game they lost, and Saturday I will be rooting against them again.
Yeah, I wanted to be excited about this Penn State-Ohio State game. I was in the weeks leading up to it, in the past couple of shows, I was gonna be like, yeah, this is gonna be a great game and all that, and then.
Are you gonna say the words I've heard from so many other Big Ten teams playing Ohio State? This is the year. Is that what that's going to be?
No.
I feel like that's where we're going here.
No.
So what I'm hearing, though, is you're starting to lose faith in Penn State.
After the loss against Iowa and then a lackluster performance against a team they were favored by 24.5 points to win, to beat, and it took 9 overtimes.
To lose.
Right.
That was the worst overtime. First of all, I didn't know this overtime rule existed. This new rule, I hate it. It is awful.
It's awful.
I have never. That was a joke.
Who was the quarterback that Illinois had to go in because the other guy broke
Brandon
his hand?
Peters. Yeah, that's ex-Michigan quarterback. He sucks.
They lost to the Michigan reject. Okay?
Yeah.
And you're bad if you're a Michigan transfer.
Yeah.
But
we dropped to number 20, but.
If I'm a Penn State fan, like, I feel like you still have to be gung-ho and go into this game with a little bit of, like...
Absolutely.
As a fan of anything, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not... If I was a Penn State fan, I'd still be in here talking trash to everybody else.
I can't, though, because it's like, except for 2016, Ohio State has owned us for the most part.
Well, maybe you should find a different team, then.
No way.
Should find a different conference. We never should have invited y'all anyway. Sorry. They were the 11th Big Ten team, and it started this whole nonsense of not having the amount of teams that's in the title of your conference. It doesn't. None of them have the right amount of teams anymore.
But they're not to 14.
Yeah, I will say their the new way that they do it, the B1G, which kind of looks like I like that better than saying Big Ten. So just calling it the Big, which they're trying to do.
Yeah.
It's makes a little more sense at least.
But I will say I did like the old word mark when there were still 11 teams in the conference with the hidden 11 in the words Big Ten.
Yeah. Okay. That was a nice touch.
That was nice.
Touche.
So, I like that we're in the Big Ten. I've seen some good games with Penn State against Michigan. It took us some time, but I think we've had some good games against each other.
Recently, yeah, but it took y'all a long time.
Yeah, it took us. We weren't established for a while. Sometimes it takes programs a bit longer than others to establish themselves.
Maybe I'm remembering this wrong because I've put a lot of chemicals into my body that mess up your memory. But Didn't we lose to Penn State before? Like, didn't they spoil a season for
2016,
us?
that is
pretty
correct.
rough. I seem to remember. I was in prison when it happened.
Yeah,
I seem to remember that.
That is the kick six.
So if I'm going into this game, I'm hoping for a repeat of that. If I'm a Penn State fan.
So that's what you had hope for a Penn State fan.
Yeah. I mean, of course, I'm an Ohio State fan.
Us Ohio State guys, we're just hoping we just pick up where we left off from the previous couple weeks and just drop a 50 burger on you.
Okay,
exactly.
I'm rooting for injuries.
I mean, that makes sense.
That's the right way to.
Okay,
I don't care who wins.
The reason I'm not as excited about, even though I'm a Penn State fan, and that will never change. The reason I'm not as excited.
Sure, it will. You change fandom so often. Go on. I'm sorry.
The reason I'm not as excited about it is because I just don't know what our offense is going to be like. Because it's been so up and down. I've seen performances from us this season where it's like, oh, we look like a legit explosive offense. And then I get games like what happened against Illinois where it's like, are we going to do anything? So because we're so Jekyll and Hyde, if you will, I can't get as excited about it. It's like, are we going to get 50 hung on us like Indiana did? Is it going to be a...
Yes.
Yes.
Is it good?
CJ Stroud, okay, he is the truth. He is here. He is ready to destroy that Penn State defense.
Isn't it funny that the Michigan guy on this podcast was the one after everybody was down on C.J. Stroud told y'all to pump the friggin' brakes? You weren't, James. I'll give you credit. You never were down on C.J. Stroud.
I said be patient.
A lot of people were, and it was like, dude, this kid's 19 years old. He's playing in one of the biggest stadiums in the entire world. Like, first time playing in front of fans because of the COVID season. Like, it was going to take a minute for him to get comfortable in that offense, and the dude's a freak, man. He was always going to be good.
Yeah.
I love the kid. I think he's great. I think he's probably the best quarterback that you guys have had since Troy Smith.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that take. I really do.
I trust Coach Day implicably.
Yeah.
So if he made the decision to start
and keep him in,
that's my guy.
I mean, I preached patience with C.J. Stroud when he was struggling early, and I gave the reasons why. Minnesota was a solid team. They had a third-year quarterback in, and then we played Oregon again. Solid team, good team.
Great Oregon team. For Oregon, that's a great Oregon team.
And so I was just like, be patient. He'll figure it out.
Yep.
He started off with 2 rough matchups to start the year, and look where we are now. He's the second Heisman favorite.
Yeah.
So yeah.
He's a freak, man.
Okay.
He's going to be really good for a long time.
He will be.
Yeah.
All right. Time to destroy Josh in Cincinnati. Okay.
Who was that this weekend? Navy?
Navy.
Yeah.
The Naval Academy running that triple option, single wing, flex bone, archaic offense that they've been running every single year since 1890, whenever they started their football program.
Yeah.
Dang near took a W.
Gave him fits.
I said before the game, Navy's going to give Cincinnati trouble, and they did.
Yeah.
I mean, Cincinnati obviously did win, but Naval Academy is they're not an easy team to play against, and they're one of those teams that will just mess up your season for no reason.
I've been pooping all over Cincinnati the whole time, so it's no secret that I've been really low on them. But yeah, I'm going to actually give them the benefit of the doubt a little bit on this one. Navy's triple option offense. Every year they'll play a team that's really good and they'll give them fits, and it's a tough thing to prepare against. So this isn't the game that worries me so much about Cincinnati.
SMU?
Yeah, I agree with you that it's SMU.
Yeah.
I thought they're going to play?
Yeah. A couple weeks from now. Gotcha. I thought that, Navy was a team that could have just been just annoying, gave him premature loss.
That's where I was at with it.
Yeah.
Yep.
But just looking at ESPN's FPI Football Power Index.
Okay.
They have Cincinnati as 9th.
Wow.
Oh wow.
9th.
Look, I'm going to be completely honest on Cincinnati. I started off this year in lockstep with James that I thought they were a fraud. As the season continued, I actually kind of for me, my stock in Cincinnati rose. I started to feel like maybe they are a legitimate team. And then this past week, I started to have those doubts again. What Brian says makes sense, though. I'm just more curious than anything to see. Also, when this actual CFP poll comes out, I want to know where they put them.
Yeah, I think they're probably going to be 6 or 7.
Yeah,
honestly. Are they good? Yeah. Are they legitimate? I don't think so. But
the problem is, who do you take out of the top 4 to put Cincinnati in?
Exactly.
You can't make an argument for anybody.
Right.
You can't.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
But
unless there's a lot more chaos, which is possible.
It is.
But it would
Luke
take.
Luke Fickell's a cool dude. Like I liked him a lot when he coached for us that one year.
He's a great recruiter for.
Yeah, they got a cool coach, good recruiter. I think they're in a good spot.
Yeah, we're up against the break here. We got to head to a commercial. We'll be back in a couple minutes. Stick around. Keep listening.
As Bruce Wayne once said,
a hero can be anyone, even a man doing something as simple and reassuring as putting a coat around a little boy's shoulder to let him know that he isn't alone in the world.
Do you feel that with great power comes great responsibility? Are you interested in changing kids' lives by giving them hope? Then perhaps you should consider being a hero. Superheroes to Kids in Ohio continues to make costume visits to children's hospitals, special needs centers, and various charitable events whenever they are needed, all in an attempt to bring a few smiles to kids and people in need of hope. You can find out more at superheroes2kidsinOhio.com.
When I grow up, I want to be a new pair of blue jeans.
When I grow up, I want to be a kid's first computer.
When I grow up, I don't want to be a piece of garbage. And if you recycle me, I won't be.
Give your garbage another life. Recycle. Learn how at iwanttoberecycled.org. Brought to you by Keep America Beautiful and the Ad Council.
All right, crew, let's get her dug.
Honey, you want to give me a hand? I'm planting that tree, remember?
No matter how large or small your digging project may be, no matter how urban or rural, you must always call 811 before any digging project. 811 is our national one-call number, alerting your local utility companies to come out and mark any lines they have near your dig site. You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 business days before any digging project, so you can avoid hitting our essential buried utilities. This includes natural gas and petroleum pipelines, electric, communication cables, and water and sewer lines. So before you do this or this, make sure you do this. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811. Brought to you by Common Ground Alliance.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived in Philadelphia. Local time is 3:05 p.m. and the temperature is 67 degrees. At this time, you are now free to use your cellular devices.
You know that feeling when you get to turn your phone on after the plane lands? You can have that feeling every time you drive. Make sure your cell phone is stowed away whenever you are behind the wheel.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
You wanted the best? Well, too bad. You're stuck with us. It's So What's the Catch on All Sports Cleveland.
That's right. You are stuck with us. This is So What's the Catch?
Only for another half hour.
Only for another.
In the Berserk box.
Yes. But right now we are talking combat sports. So, do you want to start with the Herring-Stevenson fight, or?
Sure, we can talk about the Herring-Stevenson fight.
Because I watched I was able to catch some highlights of it, so I can speak on it a little bit. It seemed like Stevenson just straight up dominated him.
Yeah, I mean, superior hand speed. I mean, he might have the best jab in all of boxing in Stevenson, and he was just putting together, 3 and 4 piece combinations
That's what I loved about it.
Yep, and that Herring just was not putting it together like that.
You didn't see any type of... Stevenson would put together like 1, 2, 3 type of thing, and then Herring would be like 1.
Yeah, you're right on about that. He was the more active fighter. I mean, we kind of knew that going into it.
We did.
But with the Herring being 35, he's getting up there. He's getting towards the twilight of his career. We'll put it that way. And he was facing a 24-year-old Shakur Stevenson, who's very much on a meteoric rise in boxing.
Who was the champion going into this fight?
The champion before this fight was Herring.
Okay.
Yeah, he was the belt holder. So now Stevenson obviously took that belt from him. But yeah, it ended in the 10th round. I believe, 10th round KO. The ref stopped the fight. And yeah, I mean, it pretty much went exactly how everybody kind of predicted it to go, which was kind of disappointing for me. It was very much like if you read the preview about the fight and then watched the fight, it was like it just happened exactly like all of the professionals were saying it was going to happen.
Yeah, I don't like that when it's like, expect this to happen, and then that's exactly what happens. I'm like...
Me too. With combat sports, it's more about that element of surprise.
Right.
That, oh, crap moment, you know,
Right,
the
so
moment like when Tyson gets upset, you know,
Right,
by
or
a 42-1 odds favorite. You
or
know what
like,
I mean?
I'm gonna jump to UFC
Sure.
because of a connection.
No, go ahead. Yeah.
Where like going into UFC 245, that main event. Which
What was the main event at 245?
Covington Usman.
Oh,
won.
okay. Yep.
Everybody was saying, "Oh, it's gonna be a wrestling match. They're gonna take each other to the ground instantly."
Right.
We talked about this on our spin-off.
Yeah, on our spin-off show,
Yeah.
which we'll tell you more about in the future.
Yes. But there wasn't a single takedown. They just wanted to go out and knock each other's heads off, which
Right.
is the complete opposite of what everyone was saying. Because again, everybody was saying they're gonna take each other to the ground. This is who's gonna have the better wrestling game. All this and that. None.
Yeah, and another one of the problems I saw with Herring too is like if there was one area that Herring needed to win, it was on the inside. And that's the only thing that went a little different than what the pros were speaking. It was like if Herring can get inside on Shakur Stevenson, he can do some damage on him. It was Shakur who got inside on Herring and was actually having the better success. And it was like, what? So that was the only head scratcher to me. That was what I saw from Stevenson that impressed me the most, because that's what I haven't seen from him yet. So in terms of like this fight and what my takeaways are from it, like, the guy won who we thought would win, but like
they are who we thought they were.
Yeah, exactly. But I think that it was a good statement victory for Shakur Stevenson. A lot of people didn't think he had enough power to knock him out.
Right.
Granted, it was a referee stoppage,
I
but
was just going in when you were talking about the Dennis Green rant.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They are who they thought they were.
Right.
I think that was in reference to when the Cardinals lost to the Bears.
Yeah.
Peace.
Yeah.
Dennis Green.
Oh, that's right. Shout out.
Yeah.
Shout out.
So quick 267 preview, because this card, I don't know about you, I think you feel the same way. This card's just meh.
Yeah, it's kind of a dud. Blackowitz and Teixeira is the
main event. That fight's good. I like that fight, but in terms of the rest of the card, meh. It's also happening in Abu Dhabi, so the time thing is the prelims start at 10:30.
It's just
in
too
the morning.
early for me to watch dudes beat the piss out of each other.
Yeah,
it is. It's like, let me have my breakfast and my cup of coffee first.
And the main card starts at 2 o'clock. I'm like, who cares?
Yeah, and not only that, but it's going to be a lot of good college football going on at the time too. So it's like this. It's
a bad card.
It's a bad card. I don't know. To me, it makes 268 more exciting.
I'm so excited for that pay-per-view.
I am too.
I think I've expressed that a fair amount.
You've been talking about that one since I'd say like 264, 265.
Yeah, I know.
You pointed this one out a long time ago.
Yeah.
I will give you credit for that. You brought it up to me in class or in the hallway the one day, like, have you seen this card yet? And I was like, oh my God. But let's talk a little bit about the card. Tell us a little bit about who's on there.
So we talked, when we were talking about Stevenson and Herring, I connected it back to their first fight.
Right.
But you saw in the lead up to Usman and Covington's first fight at 245, there were megaphones involved. There was so much like trash talk and animosity, and I felt like Colby was running the show when it came to that.
Colby he's good at it. Let's just put it that way.
And he's good at backing it up too.
I personally can't stand the guy. I can't. But he's good at what he does. He plays the heel right,
He'd be so good in professional wrestling.
Yeah, and there is an element of UFC that is becoming a little WWE. They're getting into these storylines. They're getting into these characters a little more. Guys like Colby, it seems like they love putting like him in front of everybody else, even with all of his problematic opinions and quotes. It's like, as a brand, UFC should probably promote a guy like Israel Adesanya, like a polished guy who's does a lot for the community. You know what I mean? And
or like Stipe, for example.
Stipe, perfect example. But at the same rate, that's a lot to do with Stipe being so humble and not wanting that.
Right, I get that.
Which that's his prerogative, but in my opinion,
and he's totally entitled to that.
Right, but Dana White, he always just gets it wrong with the guys that he promotes. In my opinion, it's
I agree.
And the good thing about UFC though is that once you get into that top 15 range, everybody fights each other. And, and I will say that that's the good thing that they do is that everybody gets a shot. Like, if you win, it's a meritocracy. Like, if you keep winning your fights, you're going to fight in a title fight. That's just how fighting works. Yeah. Especially in the UFC. So, you know, it seems like the people who work their way to the top are always the best fighters, and it's never the guys that Dana has in his back pocket that he loves. You know what I mean? It's weird. And then he kind of okay, now that this guy is so great, sure, now I'll push him. You know what I mean? But until Israel was doing what he's doing now, I don't ever remember Dana talking about Israel, and he's one of the most exciting young fighters that they've ever had come out.
I agree.
I just find that interesting about him. You know what I mean?
I haven't even thought about that, but now that you're bringing that point up,
because that's a fighter that they saw from a mile away. He had
Conor McGregor is another good example of it.
Yeah, it's these guys that they want to make the representative of the UFC. I just think that they swing and they miss on it so often.
Oh yeah, they could be promoting Ngannou a monster.
Oh, or even, I mean, Ngannou, they should absolutely be promoting the everything that they can with Ngannou, especially because he's came out and he's shown since since getting beat and embarrassed, he's came back and shown that he's gotten a lot better.
Right.
He's worked on a lot of his weaknesses, and in my opinion, the future of the heavyweight division, that it's Francis Ngannou.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going berserk in the octagon.
What? Oh.
What?
Are you proposing that you fight in the octagon?
Maybe.
Who would you fight?
Jake Paul.
Let's give Chirk a celebrity death match in the octagon.
Against Taco Paul.
Chirk versus Taco. Who wins? Let's go around the table quick.
Taco.
Taco?
Taco because he falls on him.
Well, maybe Chirk because Taco falls trying to fight him.
Yes.
I'll go after the knee.
Taco's definitely got the reach on you. I will say that. But if Chirk
after the knee.
If Chirk gets inside on him and he goes after his lower legs, the guy's toast. And he's got a long way to fall too. You get him to fall down once, he ain't getting back up.
Yep.
So pretty much, Taco Fall, Chirk is calling you out. He claims you're a sissy, and you will not meet him in the ring.
Right. And once your NBA career ends up fizzling out, give us a call at the Akron Aviators. We have a little ABA team down there in Akron.
Yeah, he can probably ball for that.
We're looking for a 7-foot center. So if
expect a call next week.
Yeah.
Got it. All right.
But anyway, we do need to touch on the fights on the 268 card because you just. We were talking about how excited you were, and then we kind of diverted from it.
We're good.
So I'm going to go back to you. Tell me these fights that you're excited about.
Hey, we're good at diverting.
We are. We really are. Real quick, we got a couple minutes before our next break.
Yeah.
So why don't you break down a couple of the big fights for us?
I'm really excited about the Usman-Covington rematch. That fight's good. The build-up to that fight has been fantastic.
And that's going to be the main event, right?
Yes.
And the co-main is going to be
another rematch. It's Rose Namajunas against Zhang Weili. Mm-hmm. Rose won that first fight by head kick.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about this off mic too. The way that the nature that Rose won that fight in, and I thought Zhang Weili looked really good before that kick too. So in a way, I'm more excited for this fight than I am Usman versus Covington because I think Usman versus Covington's going to go just like it did before.
You don't think there will be any takedowns or anything?
I honestly think that those guys are just that if ever there was two guys that are willing to stand in the middle of the ring and fight it out, it's those guys. They hate each other. I just think with the animosity, Usman thinks that he's good enough to beat him on his feet.
Yeah.
And he wants to prove that. If Usman gets in trouble, I will say that. If Usman gets in trouble, then yeah, we will see him go to his wrestling. But if he doesn't, I could see them there not being a takedown in this fight again, which is just so hard to believe considering how good they both are at wrestling. But what about the Rose versus Zhang? Who do you like in that fight?
I like Rose in that fight because I think that much like in her first fight with Joanna, yeah, sure, she won it, but then in the second fight, she didn't come out and perform the same way. She made adjustments.
Right.
In her first fight with Jessica Andrade, she lost by a freak way.
It was.
And then in the second fight, she made adjustments.
Right. So you think that she learned enough in the short time that fight lasted with Zhang Weili that she's got some good things to build off of?
Exactly.
Okay, I could see that. I'm going with Zhang Weili here just because there might not be anyone that trains harder than Zhang Weili in the entire UFC. She's a freak. She's got great training. But we're standing up against a break, so we're going to go. Turk, why don't you take us away to commercial land?
Question: what will you find on all over-the-counter or OTC medicine packages to help you choose the right drug and use it safely? The answer: the drug facts label. This label lists the medicine's active ingredients and purpose, how much to take, and warnings you should know before using it. Remember, even OTC medicines you buy without a prescription can cause side effects you don't want. So follow the information listed on the drug facts label. For more information, visit fda.gov/drug facts label. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
Packers,
Vikings,
Red State,
Blue State.
We come from different places.
Uptown, downtown.
We come to different conclusions. Half empty,
half full.
But no matter how different we are, we're all connected, and we can all make a difference. That's why United Way brings people, expertise, and resources together to improve the education, income, and health of our communities, the building blocks for a better life. When we live united, our efforts, magnified by others, add up to real change. Children succeed in school, families gain financial stability, the health of our neighbors improves, and suddenly, so do our communities. But real change won't happen without you.
Live united.
So let's look beyond our differences.
Live united.
One by one, let's make a difference. Let's reach out a hand to one and influence the condition of all.
Live united.
Give, advocate, volunteer. Live United. Sign up today at liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
A lot can happen in 6 seconds. A rodeo ride, a dramatic basketball win, and the world record holder can solve a Rubik's Cube. 6 seconds is how long it takes for an 18-wheeler traveling at a safe speed to come to a complete stop. And in those 6 seconds, that truck will travel the length of 2 football fields. So please, give them room. Never cut in front of a large truck for any reason. Our roads, our safety. Learn more at sharetheroadsafely.gov.
Some of the best sounds you'll ever hear are generic. Safe. Effective. Even money-saving, just like FDA-approved generic drugs. Even if they don't come in the exact same color or shape as their brand name equivalents, they have the same key ingredients and go through a rigorous review process. Talk to your doctor or pharmacist today and visit fda.gov/generic drugs. Generics are safe, effective, and can save you money. You'll like the sound of that.
So what's the catch on All Sports Cleveland? Trying to stump James for over 6 months and failing. But hope springs eternal. It's Kramer quiz time.
All right, we are back. Welcome back to So What's the Catch. We are going to do a quick salute to General Hockey, so salute. Real quick, though, we are just going to touch a quick up on the Metropolitan Division. Pittsburgh Penguins came out and have had a hot start despite injuries. Josh, tell us a little bit about the Penguins start.
I thought you were going to do the Penguins start.
Okay, fine. The Penguins have started 3-1-2. They have 8 points. They're near the top of the Eastern Division. As of right now, they would be the number 1 wild card team in the NHL picture. It is super, super early, but that just gives you a little bit of a reference point for the kind of success that they're having. They've been without Malkin. They've been without Crosby. They were without Gensel. They got Gensel back, and then they lost Brian Rust. Then they get Rust back.
Healthy.
Then they get Rust back, and then they lose Chris Letang, and then Rust is down again. But they continue to win despite that. Tristan Jarry, who had some major issues in the postseason, has looked at all world so far this year. I think that every worry that we had about him has been pretty much erased in these first few games. He seemed to have been going through something in the postseason, and he seems to have gotten past it.
All right. So Columbus, right now, they are 4-2-0. They have 8 points. They would be the number 2 wild card, so that's pretty interesting that Pittsburgh and
1 and 2, yeah.
Yep, we kind of talked about that.
Yeah, it worked out nice for the segment.
I'm just as surprised by the Blue Jackets start as you are by the Penguins.
Mm-hmm.
Blue Jackets, they aren't dealing with as many injuries, but they are dealing with the loss of a goaltender. They're dealing with
a lot of really tragic circumstances surrounding
Right. They
that
also
team.
lost a lot of key players.
Yep.
They had to trade Seth Jones to Chicago and many others. Tortorella. left, so we weren't sure what Brad Larson, the head coach now, was going to bring to the Blue Jackets.
Mm-hmm. And they're not just, they've got a +4 goal differential too. It's not like they've gotten super lucky. They've earned their wins. So I would say Columbus has been the more surprising team, but Pittsburgh's depth is going to scare a lot of teams because that's one area that we didn't know. We didn't know what we were going to get from these young guys that they brought in the offseason. And so far, they've just been amazing. I mean, everybody that they brought in the offseason has looked great so far. And I hope they maintain this level of success until they can get Crosby and Malkin back.
What I like about the Blue Jackets is they seem to have gotten away from being that tough, physical team that's just going to pound you. They're moving towards what the NHL is.
Sure, the NHL is moving in the direction that the NBA is. It's a lot more spacing and positionless play.
Which I love that.
Skill and speed and all of those things. And you're right, Columbus has started to evolve a little bit more, and I'm really happy to see that for them.
Tortorella was holding them back.
He really was. He was holding them back for a long time. He is still one of the best coaches in NHL history, don't get me wrong, but that just didn't seem like the best fit for the Columbus Blue Jackets ever really. I don't know. It didn't ever really work out. But
all right.
Anyway, we got to move on. Let's get to the Kramer quiz. That's enough hockey.
Let's get to the Kramer quiz.
We got a berserker.
Who's the berserker of the week?
Berserker.
Let's get a drum roll.
Okay.
It is Keenum Magic.
All right, cool.
Okay. So the berserker of the week is again not a person.
Just like it was on Monday.
Wasn't it Keenum last week?
It was.
Yes, it was.
It's an idea.
Back to back. Is that the first ever back-to-back berserker of the week?
Do we have those quite? It's actually probably rarer not to have them.
He had Ben Simmons 3 weeks in a row once.
Oh, cripes.
Not even on a Cleveland team.
Hey, Dean Wade won it a good amount of time.
Oh, yeah, that too. Dean Wade and Ben Simmons are the running leaders in those categories.
Monsters are
champions.
Monsters are currently second in the North Division. Their next game is Friday.
We're out of
What are you
time on
talking
hockey.
about?
Stop that. We're out of time on
We're
hockey.
done with hockey.
I don't care.
You chirked us. I love it, Josh. Good for you. Good for you for getting the
It's
monsters
time for the
in.
Kramer quiz.
Quiz time.
Quiz time.
Today's Kramer quiz, it is still NFL, but I went to a different quiz, all right? Now, this one has a little bit of a twist.
You keeping score?
I need a way to.
Okay.
So if somebody has paper or a pen, that would be very helpful. But it's the idea behind this quiz is that we're doing the first question is the easiest, and then it gets progressively harder as it goes.
Someone should sponsor this quiz.
They've actually did like a test before this quiz and got like a sample group, and they said that like for the first question, the sample group 98.4% answered it correctly, all the way down to the last question where 1.2%. So we have a lot of variation here.
Okay, I like this.
All right, I like this.
Josh, let me get the scorecard going.
This means you got to be quick, and James is so
you're
quick.
Gonna have to be quick.
I mean, I interrupted your quiz at the Rock Hall the other day.
Yeah, you did.
You're talking about Liv Tyler. I'm like, Todd Rundgren.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I got.
No, you also did that with the Sex Pistols question.
Pistols. Yeah.
Hey, shout out to me. Let me take a victory lap for winning the Kramer quiz.
Yeah, you won the Kramer quiz. Rock
that's
Hall
what's up.
edition.
It wasn't about sports, so not very applicable to this show.
Rock Hall edition.
Yeah.
Which NFL team? Remember, we have to be quick because it's the easiest.
Yep.
Which NFL team won the first 2 Super Bowls?
Green Bay.
Green Bay Packers.
Josh.
Yeah.
That's what I heard first.
Okay.
I was trying to pick it out. I feel like I heard Josh first. It might just be because you have the most distinctive voice.
Because he's loud.
Yeah, but that's what I heard.
Excuse me.
Okay, next question. How many yards was John Elway's The Drive?
98.
98.
That's definitely
Dang it, James.
97.
I'm too
98.
slow.
98.
It was 98. The year was 97.
Nope, that's wrong
No,
too.
that's also
That's
way
very
false.
wrong.
That's a decade away.
87.
Yeah.
80s.
87.
That's okay. You weren't born yet. We get it.
How many games did Walter Payton miss over his entire career?
5.
1.
3.
Brian's got it.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. I
is
actually
1.
know that stat because I'm a big Walter Payton fan.
Getting into the under 50% questions now.
Okay.
How many touchdowns did Dick Butkus get over his entire career?
5.
No.
Dick Butkus.
3.
No.
Tight end, right?
I don't know.
I'm not telling you.
I'm gonna go. Is it the closest without going over? I'll go 1.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go 7.
None of you get it. It's 0.
Dick Butkus was a linebacker.
So I was closest.
You were closest, but we weren't going by those
Yeah.
rules.
Fair.
I almost said 0. I feel like he scored like a fumble. or
It is 0.
something. Okay.
That's
crap.
crazy though.
Who caught the catch in the 1981 NFC
Dwight
Championship?
Clark.
Dwight Clark, yeah.
Dwight Clark.
Dwight Clark.
That was Chirk on that one.
We have an even tie across the board right now for the first time ever.
Oh, wow.
Which player, or what player, coined the term sack?
Oh.
This is getting into the harder questions.
Yeah.
Ooh.
What year?
It doesn't tell us.
Yeah, it doesn't know.
Mark Gastineau.
Bednarik.
No.
Mike
No.
Ditka.
No.
I have no idea.
It is David Deacon Jones.
Oh,
Of
old Deacon
course.
Jones.
Wow.
From the Akron Deacon Journal.
Exactly. What player famously left his helmet in the locker room and missed the first few plays of Super Bowl
Thurman Thomas.
28.
Thurman Thomas?
Yep. Good one, Chirk. Is he in the lead?
He is in the lead.
Yeah.
Who was the first tight end inducted into the Hall of Fame?
Mike Ditka.
Mike Ditka.
Dang it, I just guessed Ditka too, and I guessed him wrong.
Who is the only Super Bowl... Oh, we've had this question before. Who is the only Super Bowl MVP from a losing team?
I keep forgetting this game.
From a losing team.
From a
He
losing
played
team.
for the Colts.
Yep. Well,
I think we've had this once or twice before.
Crowley.
No? Close. Very close.
It's
but no.
something like that.
Yes.
It was Taco.
It's
No.
no.
Deduct a point for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, deduct a point.
I'm not going to... But I am going to slap
It
you
was
on the show
Dean
today.
Wade.
Wait,
You are so
Pierre Garcon.
No. It is Chuck Howley.
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 I'm so close.
Crowley. You were very
I was
close.
so close.
It couldn't have
I
been.
didn't even get a guess, but I wouldn't have guessed that correctly, so it's fine.
That's
It
good.
couldn't have been Dean Wade.
You were taking too long, Josh. I
Thank you for
officially
your
have
honesty.
a clock.
All right.
What Browns running back fumbled in the fourth
Ernest
quarter?
Weiner.
Yes.
Yep.
The fumble.
The fumble.
The fumble. Only 24% of people get that question right.
That's crazy.
That is nuts.
Who holds... Well, of course, they're not Cleveland fans either.
Right.
but
Yeah, true.
Who holds the record for most receiving yards in a game?
Calvin Johnson.
No.
No.
Jerry Rice.
No.
Michael Irvin.
No.
No. I remember this. I can't.
Somebody with an interesting nickname.
It was Kevin Johnson.
No.
Interesting nickname.
I don't know if James remembers him.
I remember Kevin Johnson.
I'm going to give it a few more seconds. Any guesses?
Or Quincy.
I don't know, so I'll just guess like Isaac Bruce.
It
I
was
don't know.
Willie Flipper Anderson.
I knew it was like somebody nobody really heard of.
Willie
Yeah.
I just had a
Flipper.
feeling.
Old Flipper.
Who did Jack Tatum hit so hard that his chin strap fell off his helmet in Super Bowl 11?
Jack Tatum hit Walter Payton.
Franco Harris.
I don't know.
No.
Mike Jones.
No.
Who?
Mike Jones.
Who?
That's a linebacker. The linebacker wouldn't tackle another linebacker.
Trying to think who the Raiders play.
We're getting into some real hard questions now, so I understand.
Tatum played for the Raiders, so it's got to be an NFC team.
Oh, I like your logic there.
Raiders beat
Broncos.
That doesn't work.
That's right.
Jeez, they played in.
Bengals.
Still doesn't work.
Vikings.
Roger Staubach.
Sammy White.
I at least picked an NFC team.
I know. I was gonna keep naming AFC teams.
I didn't have a legit guess, so I just.
That's why I kept guessing AFC teams just to get it super wrong.
So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna name some random
Right.
person and hope it's right. Mike Jones.
All right, where are we at on the score? Chirk in the
James
lead.
with 3, Chirk with 2, tied on 1 on the bottom.
Wow.
Who recovered the Holy Roller?
Oh man,
I don't remember his name.
Only 20% of people do.
I've heard about
Sam
this.
Madison.
No.
What era?
The football era.
You have no chance then.
I already guessed. You don't get hints after somebody guesses.
Yeah.
I know
Venus
the team.
Williams.
Yeah.
Venus Williams? That might not be the right sport.
That's not even close.
I'd have to check my sources on
Who
that.
Venus Williams is?
Venus Williams? Yeah.
The cornerback?
Yeah, Serena's
He said-
sister,
he said-
Venus.
He said Aeneas.
Yeah, he said Venus Williams. Serena Williams is her sister.
Any last guesses?
Nope. I got nothing.
Cornerback.
Daryl Lamarca.
Dave Casper.
Dave Casper. There's another Raiders question.
And Chirk's over there talking about Venus Williams again.
We're getting into the questions. I honestly, I'll be surprised if we have a right answer on the.
I'm trolling you, Chirk. I'm trolling you like you trolled us. Go ahead.
What defensive end knocked Joe Montana out of the 1990 NFC Championship?
I don't know.
Lawrence Taylor.
No.
I have no idea.
It was the Giants.
That is not a player. Leonard Marshall.
Okay.
Leonard Marshall. You don't get it, Chirk.
Nobody would have got that.
No.
Who holds the NFL record for most consecutive games started as a non-quarterback?
Non-quarterback?
Joe Thomas.
Non-quarterback. No.
I know that's not correct.
Oh, man.
That's consecutive snaps.
Charles Haley.
My bad.
No.
Consecutive starts.
Consecutive starts.
Quarterback.
Terrell Davis.
No.
He had a very short career.
Yeah.
He played like 5 years.
Brian Scalabrine.
I think you already guessed, but still no.
Also the
wrong sport.
Most starts, non-quarterback. Oh, man. I'm going to go with Anthony Munoz.
Jim Marshall.
Jim Marshall.
Good old Jim Marshall.
I should have known that one.
Who was the last NFL player to, quote-unquote, start both ways?
Ooh.
Okay.
I'm sure there's been more than one, by the way. But anyway.
Repeat that. You repeat that?
Who was the last NFL player to start both ways?
Was it Dion?
He didn't play offense.
He played a handful of offensive.
I'm going to give you the hint that it is not Dion.
Okay.
He didn't start both ways. He played, but he didn't start.
Yeah,
Troy
that's
Brown.
true.
No.
I know it's not Troy Brown.
Troy Brown's played quarterback.
Out of like this and the next four answers, I only know one of these people's
like
names.
1966.
Yeah. There's like names I don't even know. But if there are any guesses?
No.
I got nothing.
Chuck Bednarik.
I know who that
Chuck
is.
Bednarik, yeah.
Chuck Bednarik.
That's the GOAT from Philly.
Bednarik Award, named after Chuck.
Yeah.
Who I wouldn't have gotten any of these except maybe the first couple. I was thinking maybe James and Chirk had a chance because they have like some obscure knowledge sometimes. But we'll see. Got a few more.
Super deep. Weird,
who holds the
obscure
record for most interceptions in a Super Bowl?
In a Super Bowl?
In a Super Bowl.
Is it single or total?
Cowboys do. Larry.
Single.
Are you looking for a player or a team? Because Church just said the Cowboys.
Player.
Larry something.
What? No.
Dexter Jackson.
No.
I don't know.
Rod Martin.
I was going to be mad if you were about to say Rod Woodson, because I almost guessed Rod Woodson.
That would have been a good guess.
Yeah.
All right, getting down to the last three. Now, the good thing about these last three, though, is even though they're so hard, they kind of have a little bit of a Browns connection again.
Oh.
We got to hustle through them. It's 3:59.
Yeah,
we'll go over. Who cares?
We can go over.
Cool.
Who intercepted the mistake by the lake?
Oh, that was somebody from the Raiders, I'm pretty sure.
He said this is Brown.
It's Browns related.
Browns related. Who intercepted the mistake by the lake?
Pretty sure it was somebody from the Raiders, but I just don't remember who.
I didn't say a team. I said.
Yeah,
Chirk asked what team. Who intercepted the mistake by the lake?
No clue.
I don't know.
Brown.
It is Mike Davis.
Mike Davis.
Who was the first NFL player to wear a face mask?
Mike Minter?
No.
Let's see.
No, I have no idea who that is.
Tom Harmon.
Nope. I feel like it's an answer we've had before for a separate question. Maybe that's just why it
Red Grange.
No.
Bill Willis.
No.
I have nothing.
Otto Graham.
Oh.
I feel like an idiot.
Now
Now this last question, I know nobody's going to get it. It's a 1%. Who was the first NFL player to rush for 200 yards in a game?
OJ.
No. That's probably what most people would guess, though, honestly.
I'm surprised it's not Jim Brown.
Yeah, I thought it would be Jim Brown.
Nope.
Leroy
Not the
Kelly.
first. Cliff Battles.
Old Cliff Battles. Who doesn't know old Cliff Battles, you know?
Yeah, totally know that name.
Right.
Very difficult quiz. James takes the W.
Of
Back
course he
on
does.
top where I belong.
Why do people even listen to this show?
That's a good question.
Recap the Browns versus Steelers, and hopefully the Cavs don't go 2-5. They will go. They will win. They will go 4-2.
Can we end this, please?
Yeah, let's get out of here.
Let's get out of here.
We're out of here. We'll see you next week.
Hey, thanks for tuning in.
Welcome back, everybody. It is now the start of the fourth quarter. The Bedford Bearcats still have the ball, and they are going to roll out. Oh, and it's a drop pass, but Ramel Hester keeps the ball, but he doesn't gain anything.
In fact, he might have lost a couple yards. Looks like he lost 3 or 4 yards. Just keep killing these Bedford Bearcats.
Yeah, all game long, it's been either the penalties or the miscues. Penalties.
And it is 3rd and 4 on their own 32-yard line.
Ramel Hester lines up with a 2-back backfield and 3 wide receivers. He's gonna caught the ball, Jaden Smith, and he is at the 50-yard line for the first down.
That pass deflected off of number 2, Giovanni Holmes, and into the arms of Jaden Smith about 5 yards behind him. That was in great placement there by Jaden Smith.
Oh,
Looks
yeah.
like they're finally getting a little bit of luck here.
Oh, he read that play very, very well.
At the right time, too.
Yes, because that was very close to being an interception.
It was.
Ramel Hester lines up with 2-back backfield, and he hands it off to